Dr. Fart, I'm really sick. Do you think you could help me?
Yes, I can help you with my farts.
The farts aren't working. I still feel sick. Do you think it's cancer?
Yeah.
So what should I do?
Eat my poo and make you feel better.
Your poo?
Yeah.
You want me to eat your poo?
Yeah. Eat the poo.
That's it.
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think that was pretty disgusting.
It was his concept.
We ready to roll?
Broadcasting live from the internet, it's Tuesday night, and this is the Panels on Pages podcast.
Big boys playing with big toys. This is quality content.
The boomers are into it.
Hey man, I just show up.
With your hosts, Lee Rodriguez.
I am a visionary. Like, I have a podcast, I'm like, no, that's not me. That's somebody else.
Jason Nyes.
Yeah, sure. I'm not getting any vegetables in my diet. I'm just a thick boy.
Jose Guzman.
Is Jose on the show tonight?
He says he's coming.
It's like Elton John all over again, just minus the death threats.
Kelly Harris.
Reach your hand in your pants there, big boy. That's not me. I don't sound like that anymore.
And our good buddy Mahoney.
Hey, Mahoney's here. What's up, Mahoney?
We can do just glorious, wonderful things on our phones, people.
No one's ever done anything like this before.
It's gonna be massive.
It's going to be great. I mean, obviously, I think it'll be great.
And it's all killer, no filler.
My seat's on fire! Your take's so hot!
Come on. It's so good.
It's pretty good. It's there. It's reliable. You know what you're getting every single time. Man, I'm so glad you found us. You're all terrible people, and I'm glad you're my friend.
Put that in the intro.
That's really funny.
Over 500 episodes, and you'd think they'd have the hang of it by now.
It seems like the concept that would run its course very quickly. What the hell is going on, everybody? Today is Tuesday, August 30th, 2022, and this is episode number 607 of the Panels on Pages podcast. I am your host, the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez. Joining me tonight, we got Mr. Jason Nyes.
Big lump with knobs.
Jose Guzman.
So the saddest thing in nature. News at 11.
Kelly Harris is here. What's up, Kelly?
Tokyo Joshi can put a fucking camera on the ceiling, but Stardom can only shows from pervert angles. I hate it.
Nailed it.
I was going to make a joke that none of us could hear you, but then you went and did that. So
Yeah. I think the COVID brain's coming back. I'm feeling dumber lately, you guys.
No.
Oh, that's no good.
No.
No.
I think the brain don't work good.
When's the last time you
We should
came,
revert Kelly back to pre-COVID Kelly.
Yeah,
have him go
I
down a
need to
slide.
do a restart.
When's the last time you nutted, Kelly?
Yesterday?
All right.
What'd you do all day
That's
today?
not it. Not it.
What? You didn't jerk off twice today? How are your
And
loads?
the second time, it was just super sad.
Yeah.
So busy.
No, I didn't cry
busy.
today.
I know sometimes
Oh.
if it's been a few days and I can tell I'm cranky or I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to get this evil out of me.
No, that's legit.
Need to
Real
treat
deal.
myself.
Like, my wife knows. She's like, all right. Let's fix this. I'm like, yes.
You think
let's.
about those guys who think they get superpowers from not coming?
I mean, I kind of get it. Because wasn't it? It was was it a Muhammad Ali thing or like an NFL thing? Boxers aren't supposed to have sex before.
Oh, well, it makes
A lot of
your
athletes
legs
do
weak.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
well,
makes
no, there's like those never nutters that are like it makes you smarter to not do and like
Well, I mean,
Yeah, sure.
See, that's one of those flat Earth type things where I'm like, yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
right at the evidence of like,
exactly.
like, yeah, it makes me so much smarter. I'm like, okay, but you're right here. I can see you.
I mean, if instead of taking 30 minutes to feel bad about myself at the end, if I did that instead, if I read instead, maybe I'd be smarter.
I guess 30 minutes.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Just
you know,
wallowing for half an hour.
I'm talking like full process, you know? The time I took to do that, I could have watched a YouTube video about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, there you go. Next thing you know, you're a radicalized libertarian.
That's the only thing standing between you and smarts. Your own nuts.
All this time wasted feeling bad about coming.
I mean, it's not 30 minutes of feeling bad about it.
Just trying to put it back in.
Oh my god.
With all the time I've spent nutting, I could have read the Iliad.
I mean,
Oh my god. Who
it's
has a
probably
small
pretty
funnel?
accurate.
Want to have a tiny funnel, please? Oh my god, please.
I mean, I've seen some techniques that look like you can probably get it back in.
Lee, you had a lot of stuff go in there. Can we put the toothpaste back in the tube?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so. I think
What if we stuck like a tiny little pipe down there, and we did like a gas siphon, but in reverse.
Yeah, like, what if we get those two men that held yours and crammed a thing down it? Do you think they would help?
they'd definitely give it a try. They'd work real hard on it. I'll tell you that much. I don't think it's gonna work, but it's not gonna be because of lack of effort. You get them boys in there.
Good.
I bet if you just took a straw, sucked it up like a drink, and then held it, and then just lined the straw up and spit it back, I bet that'd work.
Oh no, you get like a coffee stirrer, right? Because they're smaller, and then you suck it up, and you like put your finger over the end of it, right? So it can't
Yeah,
fall
that's
down.
exactly what I'm saying.
Squeeze it,
Exactly.
yeah, then just push it down in there a little bit, let it go, and you got to kind of like
Boom.
go like, but with your cock to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a
Exactly. You flex
little
some
inhale.
muscle.
Yeah,
I don't know
Yeah.
what muscle it is, but I'm sure we can figure it out. You flex that, and boom, gravity.
Yeah, give
You
your
know,
dick a little
rather
bit
than
of-
trying to figure out how to put it back in, what if we just cork it? So
What-
it just
so
stays
I would
in.
just like to point out, listen to how smart all of us are. solving problems like it's nothing. And so these never nutters over here are like, whatever, man.
read
I'm
your
just
books.
saying, if you're not jerking off, you got to do something with that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably don't though. I'm just saying.
They probably jerk off.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You look at
Right
a
to
guy
the
who. Look at a guy who just hasn't cummed in a while, and you don't look at that guy and think, "What a go-getter!" You know what I mean?
I mean,
Oh.
Sting.
All right, it's 9:20. I think that's the show, guys. Good night.
Oh no, we're not getting out of here without getting to our main topic.
No,
Kelly's so excited.
tonight. Also, our good buddy Mahoney is here. What's up, Mahoney?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
shit,
I'm here too.
Mahoney's here?
Yeah, tonight we are talking in full. Like, I'm fully prepared to go just fucking episode by episode.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking. We're
You
talking
almost
about
have
the
to.
rehearsal.
I'm so
You
glad
almost
that,
have to.
that Knives
Yeah.
and I don't have to be vague anymore.
Right.
That's the
right.
thing. We have talked about it vaguely for a couple of weeks because Kelly was trying to get us turned on to it, and then last week Knives had watched a couple, whatever, and then over the weekend I watched them all, and I had so much to say, but there's nobody else around. It was just me and Jax.
You just sat down
you spin the
Jackson, that
bugs.
bear that was outside, and you started talking at him about
Yeah.
the rehearsal.
So I was like, "Fuck it, this is what we're doing Tuesday." Jose, I hope you can watch. If not, sorry. This is what we're doing. So yeah, we're talking the rehearsal tonight in great detail. If you haven't seen it, sorry,
Why not?
but you should go watch it. It's fucking, it's
Mhm.
nuts.
Mhm.
It's
Go watch it and then
something
come
else.
back.
Yeah, it's something else. But I was out of town this weekend. I took Jax, my son, who was 8. We went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, over in the mountains in East Tennessee, because the girls were on their annual beach trip, and he's old enough to be like, "What the fuck? Where's my trip?" And I'm like, "You know what? You're right. Let's go on a fucking trip." So we went up and we rented us a condo in the mountains, and it was awesome. Had some great views. We went to the Ripley's Museum up there and a kick-ass aquarium. Saw at the Ripley's Aquarium, they had this part where you walk through like this tunnel. Like half the tunnel has like a moving walkway kind of feature, and you're just surrounded on all sides by all the fucking critters and wildlife. And that's where I learned a few years ago that many shark species got 2 dicks. I just looked up and I'm like, oh, cool. There's just 2 dicks dragging behind all these sharks. That's fucking wild. and it's one of those things where you see it the first time, you're like, that's not 2 dicks, right? Like, there's no way, because like, you know,
yeah, it's like
sharks
some
aren't
sort
scary.
of like prehensile fin or whatever.
Something, yeah. Like, like sharks are scary enough without them being like, yeah, I also got 2 dicks, play. And then I'm like, oh, I looked it up and I'm like, oh no, they do got 2 dicks. That's fucking wild.
Wow, and it just
So
2
what's it
dicks
for?
Jones.
Like, yeah, so if you fucking lose one, does it grow back like the teeth? I don't know what it is. It's an
He
extra.
said,
like,
not only will I bite your wife, I'll steal her.
yeah, it's fucking nuts. And it's crazy because you can't go anywhere quickly up there, because you know they have the main strips of, you know, the big kind of touristy towns. There's like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and Pigeon Forge is where Dollywood is, and they fucking love Dolly up there, as well they should. The woman's a saint,
National hero.
but it's surrounded on all sides by these fucking mountains. So, you know, you pull up a thing, you're like, okay, cool. Oh, this is a half a mile away. Cool, whatever. And then you throw your GPS into it, and it's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, you're right. Point A to point B is technically half a mile, but it's going to take you 2 miles to get there, as you take these serpentine roads down and then back up the mountain. And at some point, I've been there before several times, and it only really occurred to me this time that many, if not most, of those windy ass mountain roads, which are barely wide enough to accommodate 2 cars, like none of them have like safety rails on the side. So at some point, I'm on the way up, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like one hard sneeze away from just rolling down this son of a bitch, or at least, you know,
Yeah,
hard
in
enough to get those
Colorado,
trees down there.
my mom's dad visiting their side of the family. He lives up in the mountain, but he's drove these mountains his whole fucking life. So he's just zipping around, and I'm looking. There's no guardrail. I'm fucking gripping the back seat.
Some
about to
real
shit
James
my
Bond
pants.
shit right there.
And he's
It's
just
wild.
Yum, yum, yum. No cares in the
And then
world. Not even worried about, like, there's a fucking. Don't kill us, please.
It's crazy. Like, most people are pretty cool, and kind of, you can definitely tell it's a lot of out of towners, or even the locals. If you live up that way, like, you have to kind of take it careful. But there was at least once some dickhead was just being unreasonably aggressive up on these mountain roads. And I had a thought, and I'm like, and it just, you know, it was just a very matter-of-factly, and it snuck up on me in a really kind of like quick way, and I was like taken aback by myself for a second, but then I'm like, no, I stand by it. You know, I kind of look up, and it's this guy fucking, you know, just tearing ass, and I just thought to myself real bluntly, matter-of-factly, I'm like, I hope that guy dies soon. Like, I just like, oh, I hope he dies, like, really, really soon. And I'm like, oh, that's dark. And I'm like, yeah, no, but yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Hey, get him off the
I stand
road,
by
you
it.
know?
Yeah, what a piece of shit. And the kind of other thing about that general area is it's bear country, like legit ass bear country. Like all the
Hope
you
you
know,
brought your
all the
brass
trash
knuckles.
cans. Yeah, all the trash cans, you got to put them in these cages and shit like that. Like, you can't just leave your trash out because of the fucking bears. And you know, there's all the signs everywhere. They're like, look, for real, don't fucking feed the bears. Like, you know, they're like, hey, don't leave your dogs outside. You know, there's fucking bears here. And, you know, never really, we saw one fleeting a couple years ago. We saw one real quick, but we went out one morning. We're just leaving like the condos, and there were cars stopped both ways, which never happens. And there was like a whole fucking family of bears. So, well, not a whole family. I'm going to say like maybe like a big brother and a couple of cubs. You know, there wasn't like a big one, but they were crossing the street. I'm like, oh shit. And I sent Nicole some pictures. So I'm like, check out these fucking bears crossing the street. Like, yeah, she loves critters, so she was into it. But then that afternoon, you know, we kind of go back, and Jax is like, can we go to the pool? And you kids do this shit, Mahoney, where like you go somewhere that has a pool, and they're like, oh my god, we got to go in the pool. But you're like, we fucking have a pool at our house.
Pools are great,
and
though.
but like, he hasn't been in our pool in weeks.
Oh.
But he was like, oh no, we got to go get into this pool. And I'm like, our pool at home is objectively better than this pool.
Jax, what are you doing,
But
man?
Yeah, see, I think that's the thing is like, yes, but I don't take them to places that don't have a better pool than my pool. You know, like I'm not gonna bring them to a pool that's not better than mine. I just wouldn't even offer it. Wouldn't even be like, there's a pool over there. Like they would not even be made aware.
Oh, I couldn't help it. It was right there on the way in.
I'd remove
They're
that.
like, oh, we're going to go to the pool. I'm like, okay, man, sure. But as we're at the pool, and I was throwing the pictures up there when the fucking bears are crossing the street there.
And the Blue Lives
But
Matter
that night-
flag.
Oh my God. Okay, so I didn't notice
I
ahead of
never
time.
even saw the bears in that picture. I thought you were sending a picture of the Blue Lives Matter flag, and I was like, okay.
Are you kidding? You're still
I'm
mad
not,
about
I'm
the
not. I'm
underboob.
not. I know why you think I am, but I'm not. I'm not.
You're still mad about the underboob.
I'm not mad about the underboob. I never saw the bears.
What do you mean? They're right there. They're bears.
Like center of the photo, there's two bears. But I forgot to put this on my notes, but it's true. I didn't know this going into it, but apparently this past weekend there was a Jeep invasion, is what they were calling it, which means that all these Jeep people like descended upon the area as well.
Oh my God.
It took me a second. I'm like, every fucking third car up here is a Jeep. Like, I get it, it's mountainous, but fuck, there's a lot of Jeeps up here. And then I saw some sign about welcoming the Jeep invasion, and I'm like, oh. So lots of honkies and Jeeps, and a lot of the Jeeps flying a lot of flags. And, like, you know, none of them were like, oh, you know, fucking reproductive rights are cool. Like, none of those
So
flags.
weird.
Yeah. Like, no one has a flag for, like, really cool shit, you know?
Let's fuck Brandon.
Yeah. Yeah. It was real interesting. All these Jeep folks. I didn't know that Jeep culture was a thing until I was forced upon it. And
there's an
Jeep
everything
people.
culture.
Yeah.
There's a
There is, yeah.
Mustang. There's a fucking any of them cars.
I do kind of like
Toyota
that,
Camry culture.
That
Yeah.
stupid Jeep with the truck bed is kind of cool.
oh, sure. But I saw one Jeep and it had like the thin blue line flag, right? But there was like a blue one and there was a red one and there was a green one. I'm like, what the fuck is the thin green line? Like, what the hell are these people talking about? Like, what?
Kermit,
Arbor Day.
That's Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't find it
What?
out?
No. I
Let's
didn't
see.
think about it until right now. I forgot about it.
Oh, it's the weed line.
Army.
Oh,
The
how fancy.
The Army has their own flag. Also, they're the Army. Like, come on.
Do you think the reason the government doesn't say anything about the Army Lives Matter flag is because even they can't say it with a straight face?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, come on, man. That is so fucking
But
lame.
it's also like part of being a member of the armed services is like respect for the flag and you
Right.
wouldn't ever make like a parody flag of the United States flag. Like I believe this is like a flag code thing. All these
Yeah, no,
thin
it
line
goes against
bullshit.
flag code.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this goofy shit does. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, and one of my favorite ones that I've seen, and this one might actually be local. It's like the United States flag, but then there's like a gradient blend into the Confederate flag, and it's just like, you motherfuckers just aren't paying attention. Like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck are you people doing?
The
It's
South will
unbelievable.
rise again.
Unbelievable.
So
Which led me to another thought that I had where, you know, there was all this stuff, there's all these fucking flags and all this God bless America stuff. And I'm like, what is more American than God bless America? Like, I highly doubt if I was in Lithuania, there'd be some asshole flying a God bless Lithuania flag. You know, that's just some real American shit, you know, like Manifest
pretty
Destiny, westward expansion to the California. It was basically, you know, some white was like, God sent us here to go west. Fuck those people. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's right. Let's go. Wagons west, motherfuckers. Absolutely insane. But we're at the pool. And then This couple comes out of the balcony of their condo right next to the pool area, and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's a bear over here." And I get up and I walk over there, and sure as shit, I'm thinking it was the big bear that was not in the photo that you just showed, because he's right around the same area. And he comes walking up like, "Oh shit, fucking bear! Look at that!" And kind of sees the people, and
that's a pretty big bear.
And he sees the people looking at him, and then he stands up on his hind legs and walks over like, "You can drop some fucking chips down here? What's up, man?" and he's just fucking being a bear, and like I don't. Very rarely do I think to myself, "Holy shit, I'm really glad my wife's not here." I like my wife. We're really good together. We have a good time. But if she were there, I would have had to pin her to the fucking ground to keep her from going and trying to cuddle this goddamn wild bear.
I thought she was gonna fight the bear. She's gonna fight the bear, Lee.
No, she would befriend. She'd try so hard to befriend this bear.
See,
she would have been sobbing her eyes out if I was there, because I would have kicked the shit out of that bear.
What would you do to this bear, Mahoney?
Well, see, the first step is you got to lock him up. You put him in a headlock.
Let him know.
You hit him in the head. Hit him right in that face, that snout with some knees.
Just bop him a bunch.
Bop him. And he's going to try to get big. He's going to try to get tall, but I'm tall. I'm tall too. So I'm not afraid of that. I'm going to pound him right across the face a couple times. It's not going to work. Then I'm going to pop myself up on that balcony. I'm going to elbow drop right on his head. I assume this is a boy bear. I'm gendering the bear.
Yeah.
I don't want to kick the shit out of a baby girl bear. So then when I got him down and he's dazed, he's confused, he's sitting on the ground, he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Boom, kick to the face. Kick to the face. That's a judo technique, I believe.
You see some big bear in the background. "Stop kicking my daughter!"
Oh my god!
And then like that's pretty much it. You got them pretty much. I mean, they're down, they're dazed. You got to get your hands in the right situation, and boom, snap.
Fuck you, Zod style.
Exactly. You treat them like they're about to kill an innocent family with their eye beams, and you just turn their head around.
Oh my god! The picture with the people up on the balcony. So yeah, that's a baby bear, and like I've said, I don't want to fucking have Mama Bear find me beating up her child, because then my life is over.
Because I didn't get a shot of it, but after he's standing up like that one, he's standing up there and he's like, they're clearly not going to drop anything down there for him. He just kind of just sits down for a second, like, plops down on his ass and looks around for a second. Yeah. Right before this, he was just scratching his belly, like, "Oh well, fuck." and I'm like,
"Guess they don't got any treats for me."
Yeah, it was exactly that kind of look, and I'm like, "I could probably take this motherfucker." I'm like, "No, you can't take him. Of course not. It's a bear.
Don't do it."
Fucking nonsense.
But they are just kind of like big dogs, really.
Yeah, with a 2,000-pound bite strength.
Mm-hmm.
And the adults have claws the size of fucking steak knives. It's terrifying. And Jack Jackson's like, "Hey, think you can train a bear?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe for a little while."
Train them to ride a ball.
Yeah.
They train bears all the time.
Yeah, for a while.
So him and that lion are like, "Dude, you done with this shit yet? Because I'm fucking over it. I'll punch him.
Yeah.
You go for his throat."
This bear's like, "Man, they got Discovery Plus back here. Lots of good quality programming, including some kick-ass nature documentaries. I think this is some bullshit."
And then he's like, "I heard Mahoney's talking shit. He wants to fight a bear. Let's go."
Yeah, let's do it. I'll kick the shit out of that little girl.
Let's see if some Comic-Con is interested in Mahoney fighting a bear.
If we can get this sanctioned.
Yeah.
There is a comic book called Shirtless Bear Fighter, Mahoney. There you go. That's all you got to do.
Is there?
Yeah,
there is.
That could be you.
Yep.
Pop that top off.
Mm-hmm. Pop that top, baby.
That is the first step. You got to let the bear know you're a little crazy. want the bear to be like, "What did I get myself into?"
Yeah.
Look at how he popped that top. He means business.
Look at the way
Oh,
he stands
yeah, and then-
so normally.
Yeah, and then speaking of popping the top, I fucking
And
went
stands
to-
so normally.
we were when we were at the Ripley Museum, they had like some fucking funhouse mirrors, and I was trying to replicate the shot, but I'm like, it really is kind of an odd stance. I really can't nail it.
It's not an odd stance. It's a very normal stance. It's how a normal man stands.
Yeah, I couldn't quite get it. I'm like, oh, all right, maybe she's got a point. I don't know. But speaking of popping tops, I did notice when I got in the shower yesterday that around the area that I'm gonna call my sleeping zone,
Oh no!
where I sleep on my
I
body.
thought this was top secret.
No, no. She doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah, you think she's gonna
Well, yeah,
listen to this?
Christopher's
Yeah,
gonna
no.
tell her.
This is the
It's
one
fine.
time she's like, oh, you guys want to hear this? I bet you they're on right now. And then bam. Busted.
No one say shit. There's a secret to just you and everybody listening. Oh God. I
Be cool, Tristan.
definitely got some little bed buggy bites on my, and it's like, like
That's
the
nuts.
inside of my arm where I like, throw my arm out to sleep, shit like that, just obviously in my sleeping area. And so last night I texted the guy and I'm like, hey, just so you know, this is what's up. And he's like, no, that can't be right. Oh, he's like, we have two sheds, we bleach all the sheets and all this and that, whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, but they live in the bed, not the sheets. I'm just like, I'm not fishing for a refund. Just want to let you know, you want to give that mattress a pretty heavy, deep clean, And it's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, there's, he's like, we have all kinds of stuff around here in the mountains that, can leave bites and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but
I got all sorts of critters in that bed. None of them are bed bugs, though.
yeah.
You
like,
didn't
all right,
find
man,
the
whatever.
possum in the pantry.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. I'm just trying to help out.
He said, no, if you would have said AIDS, I got you. But
Yeah.
bed bugs, get the fuck out of
We
here.
got an armadillo named Dave who lives in the attic.
Fucking armadillo. Oh God. And fuck, I forgot about that too. Jax got a nosebleed the night before we left.
In there.
Like a-
You call
like
the cops?
Like a bad one. It was like a
Call the
bad
cops.
It was a pretty bad one. And the condo had like a upstairs loft, and it was a spiral staircase that takes you up there, right?
Oh, God.
And so like my big ass navigating a spiral staircase is not a quick proposition. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. And so, we're kind of laying there. He's right, getting ready to go to bed too. So we're laying just kind of cuddling and shit like that. And he goes, do I have a nosebleed? I look over at it. And he's very calm. I was like, do I have a nosebleed? And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, man. And he goes, oh my God! And he just sits up and he's freaking out and there's blood and he throws his head back immediately. And so he starts, choking on blood because it's running down his. He's like, hurry! And I'm like, fuck. And I look at the thing and I look at him and I'm like, I don't want to bleed over this fucking. All right, quick decision. So I just fucking snap my shirt off, throw it at him. I'm like, here, put this on your face. I'll be back in a second. He goes, am I gonna die? And I'm like, no. Like, fuck.
Oh
So
my
we
God.
do have to call the ambulance.
Yeah. And then I did tell him the story about how you called the ambulance when you got a nosebleed. And he goes, he called an ambulance. Like, you
damn
said
it.
you were gonna die. For all he knew, he was gonna die too, son. Can't throw stones in a glass house.
Man.
No,
It was-
no, that's not what happened.
Convention center. I just wanted the fucking convention center nurse, and
And it
everything was
too
shut
late.
down.
Yeah,
I
Yeah, but
didn't-
it's way funnier this way.
sure.
yeah, I bet.
All I remember
For all
is
of
that
us.
you kicked your way out of the
Oh, yeah, and
bathroom.
Mahoney had just like fucking.
Yeah, like 10 minutes earlier. But I was still close enough to hear you kick your way out of the bathroom, covered in your own blood, screaming, call 911, I'm dying.
I've been attacked by my own face.
And I was like, boy, I hope somebody helps that guy. And then I left.
Fucking wild, y'all.
Tires
Got jumped by a
squealing.
bear in the bathroom.
Yeah. So what you got going on, Knives?
Oh shit, not a whole hell of a lot. But man, this Gina Carano Hunter Biden movie,
Are we gonna have to watch that?
This is one of the best. We probably should watch that.
We're gonna
probably.
have. Are
Okay,
we
so-
going to need to do a back-to-back feature?
I mean, there's
Back-to-back
this.
what?
There's the
You know what the first movie we're watching.
the what was it called? Trump.
Chosen, Donald Trump,
yes,
the Chosen.
Donald Trump, the
something like that?
Chosen, and then there's that Nicole Brown Simpson movie.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, maybe you weren't here for that, Jose. There's like
Yeah.
on streaming. There's a movie that it's with Nick Stahl from Terminator 3 playing some like serial killer. It's doing like an alternate history of the murders, implying that some serial killer killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, and like OJ's
some serial
not in
killer
it at
named
all.
OJ's kid.
Yeah.
Huh.
As far as like the trailer, OJ is not a prominent character.
That's the
It's
twist.
fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit.
Real alternate history shit.
What I think it's funny about this My Son Hunter trailer is a lot of the left is like, you know what? This kind of makes Hunter and Joe Biden look really cool. Like, what are these guys doing?
So, what is the quote unquote story with Hunter? Like, what's the thing that makes him deserve to have a movie to these fucks?
He's their guy. He's the target of all of their excuses. Like,
But what did he do?
He's a
I think he's a
crackhead.
drug
Really?
lord.
Oh, he smokes crack a lot.
Yeah, he's a crackhead. He left
Okay.
a laptop with a bunch of videos of him having sex and smoking crack with like a repair shop guy.
Okay.
And then he's believed to have had dealings in China. Like business
And the
deals.
sad thing is, the look on his face a lot of times is like, I hope this is the last thing I do.
Yeah, he's like
Please
he's a sad
let
boy.
this be it.
But
And so they're just like, "Hey, Biden, come get your
Brandon.
boy." Like,
right, it's basically all they've got is to point at his son Hunter and be like, "Hey, your son's a piece of shit."
It's like a really weird
It's
because like
all right.
first, most of the shit they say about Hunter Biden seems just totally made up. Like when they're like, "Yeah, that pizza place, they're eating children in the basement," and it's like, okay, sure. And then
well, I know like they love the email thing for a while, but like at least like that's one of those things. Just like, okay, yeah, like that's legitimately like not good. You shouldn't have done that.
Hunter
email
Biden is Biden's emails.
But and I could be wrong. And this isn't me like whatever. I'm like legitimately asking. Like he's not really involved in this shit,
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of a fuck up, and so
I
they're like,
mean,
"Oh
he's
man,
just
look at
there.
your fuck up kid."
There's likely
Yeah.
Pretty
been
much.
some nepotism, and who knows? He's a party dude. I don't know if there's any issues with national security there, but it's all they got, man. Like Trump is
Oh
literally.
yeah, because like I mean, if there's one dude that I know hates nepotism, it's definitely Donald Trump.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. But
It's like
that's
his
exactly
least
the
favorite
thing,
thing.
is like, even if you were like, "Hey man, your kid, real shithead," like, well, okay, it's my kid, it's not me. Like, what, you know? Like,
So where's
now
the
what?
Trump kid movie rebuttal?
Yeah.
Sorry,
seriously.
Okay.
who's the Democrat Gina Carano?
Did you see the
Will and Grace chick?
Trump Jr. picture he posted of
Oh
Trump
my god!
with the black bar over what is allegedly his dick, but it hung down like past his knee? It's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he's,
that to
behind,
me
he's
is
sitting.
far
hard
more
breathing.
disqualifying than anything else.
He's hard breathing behind the guy in front of Photoshop. Make the black bar
Yeah, there it is.
longer.
because it's
No.
a riff on the affidavit of them raiding fucking Mar-a-Lago, and they had to redact a bunch of stuff. So his dumb son takes this picture, puts a big black bar over it, like his dad is Isaac Hayes, and says, "Redact this." Like, that's so weird.
It's so weird.
Because, bro,
That's the thing. You
we've
can't even
all
like you
seen
can't
this
even
picture. We know what's there.
Yeah.
It's fupa.
We know what's there, and like you can't even deal with people like this.
I know.
'Cause it's just like
That's a motherfucker
Hey,
who
man.
stands weird. motherfucker's pants weird.
Your dad illegally took a bunch of human intelligence documents, and he's like, yeah, well, he's got a bigger dick than your dad. And it's like, okay.
You know how low that fupa hangs? That's how you rock it.
We did kind of get off on a tangent there, but that Hunter Biden movie starring Gina Carano as Secret Service agent, and nobody else of note in it, except that it's directed by the ugly Fratelli brother that was also in Die Hard, who's apparently gone full MAGA. And I think it's produced by the Daily Wire. That's Ben Shapiro's fucking shit. So it's so embarrassing. And everybody's dragging her.
That's it. You're right. It is super fucking embarrassing.
Like, you
exactly
chose this.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
They think it's great.
Me personally, I would rather if I got drummed out of Hollywood because of my beliefs, instead of starring in some direct to streaming garbage like that, I would rather never be seen again.
Yeah, just go get a job someplace.
I would
just go get a job.
I just can't imagine you're like, hello, I am in a Star Wars, and I might even have my own Star Wars. And then your agent is like, okay, I got it. This guy's going to sniff your hair. You're a Secret Service agent. It's like, no, thank you. Like, you got to have a point where you just draw a line and be like, I can't do that.
I
Like,
mean, I
we
guess
can't do that.
at this point she's just a troll. Like that's what the problem was, is she was an online troll, and she's like, all right, I guess
Like,
this is my thing now.
Go back to beating the shit out of ladies, you know? Like, just do that instead of
how about
these shitty movies.
Go back to getting the shit beat out of you by ladies.
Yeah.
Well, no, because now she's at least a name that she can do, like the fucking, who's that YouTube guy? Where you just find a bunch of random nobodies and be like, hey.
No, what I'm saying is,
YouTubers.
I would
exactly.
rather see
Here's
her
50
get the
grand,
shit.
and I'm going to kick the shit out of the person who made the Savage dance.
I would rather see her get the shit kicked out of her, though. Is that
Well,
misogynist?
I mean, yeah. No.
Because it would be a woman beating her ass.
Well, let me say, would you like to see Don Jr. get the shit kicked out of him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. It's got nothing to do with the sex.
Oh, man. Oh, so we've been kind of slowly going through the Predators after Prey.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched Predators a couple weeks ago, and then sat her down to watch Predator 2, which she had never seen, which is always a good time. But at the end of it, she tried to be like, it's not a great movie. I was like, you shut your mouth. Sure. It's not particularly well acted or, written or directed, but it's so much fucking fun.
Predator 2 fucking rules.
It does.
Yeah,
Predator 2 is awesome.
It's peak 90s action movie. Like that year, that specific slice of time. Oh my God, I love
One
it
of
so
the
much.
last fuck uncle movies.
Tell you what, rewatched Alien.
The tagline, it should just been Predator 2, and the tagline should have just been cocaine.
Oh my God. And then for the second time in my life, watched Alien versus Predator, and it is not as bad as I remember it. It's fucking
a fun movie.
It's boring, and there's not a whole lot of Alien versus Predator, but it's not awful. Still not great. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, you guys know my TikTok feed is something.
It really is, buddy.
Really something. And at this point, it's a game just to find how deep the depths go. But in the process, I am finding some legit content creators that have interesting outlooks or channels or feeds or whatever the fuck you call them. I'm 41 years old. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, they got some real interesting features, I bet.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
this guy,
missing some.
he reminds me of
chromosomes.
Andre from The League. And I don't know I don't know what his exact situation is, but his little bits make me laugh Now these are definitely misogynistic sometimes, but sometimes I don't know if they are. I think it's just his catchphrase. But let me play this for you.
The musical theater teacher be like, no goofing around during practice. Me, I'll goof around if I want to, you fucking bitch. The musical theater...
I love it so much.
That's actually pretty great.
And it's just, like he's done a couple where that's the punchline to all of his fucking... Let's see.
Me waking up at a decent time be like, I didn't get up super early, but at least I didn't sleep the day away. Me waking up at a decent...
No, that's not good.
That one's not
At least you didn't sleep the day away.
Oh, I got my Pop-Tarts.
How many followers does this person have?
Followers?
Yeah.
These have thousands of views.
3.1 million followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. This guy's doing great.
I hate this fucking platform. What a fucking nightmare.
There's some good stuff on there. And then there's also some horrifying things.
Yeah, I bet there's a couple of cool people that have Jeeps too, but
Oh man, Jeep Talk?
Oh, I bet Jeep Talk is something else.
Every Jeep Talk uses Missy Elliott, I Can't Stay in the Rain, because it's got beep, beep, who got the keys to the Jeep? Vrrr.
Everyone plays it like they did it the first time.
Yeah. I'm driving to the beach. Dude, let's get a Jeep and do that TikTok right now.
One of my favorite TikToks I ever saw was some dickhead doing that thing where he walks beside his truck with nobody in it, and then he gets run over by it. That was pretty cool. I like that one.
I love that one.
The whip ghost
I like
rode
that one
him.
a lot. Yeah, that was pretty great. Like, if TikTok was just all that, oh boy.
I saw one the other day where they pulled over on the side of the road and the guy got out of the passenger door to take a piss. And he had the door open and he's standing there at the, side, the guardrail. And the friend just backed up. Just leveled him with the door.
Oh, man.
Oh, wonderful.
Probably ruined his day.
I bet.
What you got going on, Jose?
Well, since we're talking about pools, let me tell you about the saddest thing I've ever seen going outside to my pool in the morning.
Oh, no.
All right.
So the Sunday before, my sister came over, Nice came over, my nephew came over, just having a good time, doing what to do. Rains, as does Florida do for this time of the year.
Yeah, it fucking poured.
And everyone's going to leave, and you just like the frogs are out. Like they must have been flooded out, and they are pissed. They don't know where the fuck their house is. Everything's flooded. So you just hear like frogs everywhere. So whatever. Next morning, go out for my morning stroll around the pool, do my thing, and then scoop out whatever's in there. So I open it up and I see like 4 frogs. I see 2 that are together. They look like they're fucking. So, haha, that's funny. And then I see one that I thought was floating, and I'm like, oh, he's not moving. And then I see one at the bottom of the pool, and I'm like, oh, he's definitely not moving. He is dead as fuck. So then I noticed the one that was floating was dead. So then I look at the 2 that I thought were fucking. They were not fucking. In fact, it was a dead frog with another frog on its back with a bear hug so tight, like he choked him out because he was holding on for his dear life not to die in this pool.
Yikes.
Oh my
And
God.
he was alive.
Oh,
So
God.
I walked out into like some Titanic shit where just imagine there was no wood and she fucking floated on Jack. And that's how she survived.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
So
he
I
dropped
was able
this.
to
That's
save
extra
one
dark
of
because
them.
the only way he's gonna float is with like all of his like gases bubbling up inside. Like he's gotta be straight up dead first.
He dropped this story in the middle of a business meeting. No warning.
So wait, were you able to sell? Were you able to save this?
One, yes.
Okay, good.
The Titanic frog lived because I noticed he was still alive, but like the look on his face was like, I know you think we're fucking weird. Now fucking please get me out of here.
Now, see, I originally thought they had died in an embrace, both of them. Like the two old people just laying in the bed in Titanic as the water rushes in. But when he revealed that the one frog lived, it was less bleak of a story.
Yes. Still, that's some dark shit to fucking walk out to in the morning, man. That'll fuck your
Yeah,
day
we had
up.
to get a little. We had to get like a little gimmick for the pool. That way the frogs could get out. Like you can buy these things, like little floating, like frog rescue pads. Because I guess they're just fucking stupid, so they can get in, but they can't get out. But if you put this little thing in there, they can. It's like a little floating thing with a ramp that leads back to the deck. So
Well, yeah,
because
because they have no like leverage. Like they can swim, but they can't bounce out of the pool, and there's no grip.
Shitty design.
What, frogs?
Yeah.
Stay the fuck out the water. You know what they say? If you ain't from the water, don't go to the water.
Frogs, why the fuck you don't got wings?
Yeah, and they're
It's a real Larry Potter. What? Yo, why the fuck frogs don't got wings? They drowning over here.
and they're trying to escape the water, and then they just die in a pool.
Yeah, you want to tell me there's a god? Okay, yeah, sure. There's a god. He just made frogs unable to escape water, the place they live. Fucking preposterous.
Yeah, I guess if you are trying to get out of the rain, jumping in the pool does
I don't
work.
know how
I
the
guess.
fuck they got in. It's screened in. Like I don't know how 4 frogs even got in this bit.
Well, that was me and Mahoney's drone.
Yeah, that's probably the hole I cut in your screen.
Yeah, because we're always dropping
door.
them in Lee's pool, but Lee was gone this weekend, so we put him in your pool
I
instead.
wonder if they came in like through the filter or something.
We came the other day, we cut a hole in the screen, and then we put a little sign over it that had a picture of frog puss, and we were like, in here, this way.
Just nude pictures of Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
It just says the sign said in frog language, "Nude frogs, wow."
And every frog was like, wow.
That's a fucking critter-fold.
Or you found Frog Jigsaw, who just captured a bunch of frogs.
He was
threw 'em
actually
in your pool.
choking him out. He was trying. Yeah. See? No, exactly. He plays the victim. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to save this last poor soul, the last one alive.
And for some reason, it kept telling you he had cancer.
Yeah. I fucking, once they fell out of the net, I heard this dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So Frog Jigsaw.
That's fucking great. Oh, that's fucking nuts.
Jesus
You got Kelly.
Christ.
What's going on?
I can't even get it to
Oh
load.
no!
I
What?
just know it's going to be ridiculous.
I'm just looking at these horrible pictures that Nye sent us.
Oh no!
Can't put those on the stream.
Can't put
Jesus
those on
Cannot
the
put
screen.
those on the stream.
I was not prepared.
Someone
Holy
is
shit.
making erotic Kermit,
Kermit
and Miss
has
Piggy
balls.
statues.
Look at the first one. They're dangling.
Oh, look, he's hitting that. Never thought about that with his tongue.
And look in the background of the second one. It's
Oh, there's
Kermit
so many.
fucking Miss Piggy as far as the eye can
There's
see.
dozens of these things.
Yeah, they're all a different pose.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dozens are the same.
All right. There's a really black
Whoa.
part of me
Jesus.
that loves these.
This is your
Are they
secret
for
Santa
sale?
gift, Lee.
Yeah, can I send one to Lee?
1,000% my Dirty Santa gift this year. These are fucking tremendous.
Yeah.
These are incredible.
Honestly, they- they're really well done.
Yes.
They're very well done.
They're not shoddy
like-
work.
No,
like they're
It's some
actually
legit
really
artwork.
good.
The
Yeah.
details
Oh, that's
on Miss
tremendous.
Piggy's nipples are very intricate.
I mean, he nailed it.
I googled Miss Piggy nude, and this is really the best content that there is.
Oh, those are fucking incredible.
That's some of the best content I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't care how much they cost. Like, I have to have one. I have to have one, and I have to give it to an unsuspecting friend this holiday season.
And be like, oh, your grandparents are coming over? Definitely open this one first.
Next time we have Jen on for a date night or whatever. What do we call that game we do?
Deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
Deal breakers. Next time Jen's on for an episode of Deal Breakers, give her this at the end of the episode as a prize.
That would
yeah.
be amazing if you're like, congratulations, you win. Here you go.
This person's a real gifted artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find any information on where.
Yeah, like, where can I buy these?
Yeah.
Like, these are fucking amazing.
No shit, I couldn't even tell you anything I did in the past week. Mahoney, what about you? What's your week been?
You got anything better than this? Miss
Oh,
Piggy?
this is tremendous. If you're playing along at home, just Google Miss Piggy nude. There's gonna be some scary shit, but you're also gonna see these things that we're looking at.
Remember that time on our podcast we just took a 5-minute break to look at pictures in our private message? That was great. Kelly, how could you have nothing going on? This was like the biggest week of the year with the VMAs, the Young Gravy problem.
Oh.
Taylor Swift announced a new album. What do you
the
mean
fuck
you had
with Young
nothing going
Gravy?
on?
It doesn't. None of those cross over into my sphere.
Oh my gosh. It was a wild time.
Jose,
It
you
was
just
wild.
asked. Jose, you asked a question.
What's a young gravy?
Young Gravy.
I'm
How do you
glad
not
you brought
know?
it up
So,
because
Does
I was
Young Gravy
definitely
make
going to ask
music?
you about this.
he does make music. So we have a whole
Okay.
educational primer here that is not as in depth as it maybe should be. Somebody says that it was too much.
I
But
told
that's
him
fine.
to send me a few links, and he sent me a few dozen links.
We were gonna get real deep. We were gonna really dive into the motivations of Mr.
I opened up my
Gravy,
phone
but-
at one point and it said 35 messages from Mahoney.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Under a new chat, young gravy.
The saga
So, yeah,
continues.
so- Young Gravy is a rapper, I suppose. I guess, like, you know, and he's gone viral.
Hold on. There
Oh
we go.
dear.
Oh, we're about to get told.
Super
That sure
loud.
sounds like gravy
All right.
to me.
So he's gone viral a whole bunch. So here he is at a concert, and what he's doing here, Lee, this is something I think you'll really like. He's feeding all of these women bites of a Slim Jim. It's like she got hers, and he walks down a little bit. She gets hers, right off the same Slim Jim,
Okay.
and then she passes it to her boyfriend through this big old open
That's
mouth kiss they're gonna
awful.
share. And
I
it's
hate
like a
that.
really good thing to do right now in the pandemic.
I hate that.
I
so
originally
much.
thought it was a vape. I thought he was passing a vape around to the audience.
No, it's a Slim Jim. And what you
Nope,
don't
it's-
see is when she took the bite of the Slim Jim, she winked at him.
Oh, you do
Or
see
you
it.
might see it. I
Oh.
don't know. It's very
Oh
small.
no, you can definitely see it. I can definitely see that more than I can see that underboob.
Well, there you go. Good. Glad you got your eyes checked.
Hmm.
So he's like a ton of his sounds have gone viral on TikTok.
Wait, a ton of his sounds.
Yeah, like his
So
songs.
he's not a real artist. He just
no.
has
He's
sounds
got
that
real
are cool.
songs, but just
no,
like
but nobody
you know,
cares about his songs. They just want his sound.
no, not at all.
Like,
Not
a
at
little
all.
Bit
See,
of the song, or they're using the whole song.
you're behind the times, Jose. So what happens
I
nowadays
fucking so am.
is 15 seconds of your song goes viral on TikTok, and then your song becomes the most streamed thing in the world, and you're rich. So you don't have to get your whole song on the radio. And get
Jesus.
Oh,
people
so you don't
songs.
even have to
Christ.
have a whole song yet. You just need 15 seconds. You can
there's
come up with a song. later.
there's a guy who got signed to a whole record deal because he came up with one verse about Billie Eilish, And the rest of his song is basically him repeating it because he's like, I don't have more than 15 seconds of this song.
Mhm.
So
Young Gravy,
Yeah.
recording artist who I have never heard of until very recently, and I had no
White guy?
context for him. White guy.
Yeah,
He has a
thought.
song on Spotify called "Whip a Tesla" that has 121 million plays.
Oh yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So the songs go viral, and that translates into overnight success for a lot of these people. So he's had a bunch of shit go viral. Like, he's everywhere. This is him with Livy, who's like a LSU gymnast that's super famous on TikTok. So he's everywhere. He's
So
all
that's
over the
her
place.
on the right as well. So she's doing the TikTok
Yeah.
with his song, and then they hooked up.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
he's just fucking cheesing into the camera.
Cheesing it up.
Got
Cheesing
that
it up.
gravy
So
all
the other
over.
thing you got to know about Young Gravy
Give your
is
money,
a lot
Young
of his,
Gravy.
a lot of his songs reference him fucking moms. Just, he's at your mom's house, he's fucking your mom, their mom, everybody's moms. And no mom
That
is
guy's
safe
got a
when Young
face
Gravy
like
is
he'd
around.
fuck your mom. Like
Yeah.
that guy's
Absolutely.
face that I'll fuck your mom for sure.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Absolutely. All right, so we know who Young Gravy is. We know he's hot. He fucks moms.
We got us a primer. Thank you, Mahoney. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
So now
he's
let's
viral, he says he
introduce
fucks
a
moms.
TikTok mom. So this is Addison Ray. She's like the second most famous TikToker behind Charlie D'Amelio.
Mr.
And-
Clean has 215 million plays.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was
Jesus,
viral for a
okay.
long time. So this is Addison Ray. That's her mom, Sherry, and they're just like, you know, any old random TikTok family where like she was just some chick was like, hey, I think I should do some TikTok trending dances, and the internet was like, congratulations, you're famous now. And the problem with that is your whole trash family becomes famous with you. So she's famous, her mom's famous, her dad's famous, her brothers, like everybody. And then, you know, when you're a trash dad and your daughter's famous and you're like kind of secondary famous, you're like, I'm gonna head to the bar and try to fuck a 19-year-old.
Oh my god.
Problem is, most 19-year-olds these days know who Addison Ray's dad is. So here's this one being like, Addison Ray's dad is trying to fuck me. And then here he is grabbing this one's ass. So that video came out, and everybody was like, oh shit, that's Addison Ray's dad trying to fuck a bunch of 19-year-olds. That's kind of creepy. Because, you know, it's kind of creepy.
Okay.
And what's his name?
So then, that guy's Monty.
Okay. And then mom
Monty
is...
Lopez. And the mom is Sherry.
Gotcha. Sherry and
So
Monty.
Monty goes out to the bars, tries to fuck a bunch of teens. Sherry's like, that's
So this
fucked
person,
up.
Addison Ray, didn't do anything. She's just a TikTok person.
She's just a TikTok person.
But-
she hasn't done shit.
Yeah, Mahoney
just trying
said
to live
she's
her
the
life.
she's the second most famous TikTok person, but that also means she's the second most famous person in the world right now.
Essentially, yeah.
Pretty much.
So that
And again,
video comes out.
The world is so big. I have no fucking idea who this person is. And she's apparently famous for nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
She's been in a movie. She's been in movies. She's got songs that have come out.
No,
She's
Lee,
got
you
makeup
do
lines,
know her.
like-
You do know her because she got a job doing backstage interviews for UFC, and then
Yes.
everybody shit on her.
Oh, that's right. She was horrible.
Is that
Yeah.
her?
Yeah,
That's her.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
and then she was like,
Okay.
"LOL."
Exactly.
Uh-oh, don't have talent. Bye-bye.
Whoops. And she's like, fuck all of you for yelling at me for not having talent. I'm literally just a random girl who danced on TikTok. Like, what are your expectations so high for, you know?
Google
Like-
lists her as an American media personality, which is code for not good at things.
Yeah, basically. So, Monty gets busted in the bar trying to screw those two 19-year-olds.
Okay.
Like, a few days later, out of the blue, this random lady is like, I have been dating him for 5 years. And posts a whole bunch of, like, screenshots of their texts and pictures of them together, and is like,
In
I've been
front
in
of
a
a step and
relationship.
repeat? Like, what the fuck were they doing? Okay.
Who knows? Who knows? And
wait,
then...
Wait. Did she not know that he was married with
Oh, no. No, she knew he was married, but
And
you
why
know,
is she
he's
exposing
like,
it? Who gives a fuck?
because
she's mad he's trying to bone a 15-year-old.
Exactly.
So she's like,
She
no,
thought-
I'm gonna blow this shit up.
She thought she was special, Kelly. She thought, you
Oh
know,
my
he's on the
God.
rocks with Sherry. They just need to get that divorce finalized, and
He
then it's
said,
just
you
him
know
and
how
her.
many times this motherfucker said he was leaving her for me? And now he's out there trying to bang some 19-year-old? Not on my watch,
Everything about
motherfucker.
this. Okay.
Man, I don't know. I'm Team Monty.
Your Team Monty. That's a bold stance.
Your team wants to be married and go fuck
Okay.
everybody?
He's
All
done
right.
nothing wrong.
Okay, well, he cheated on his wife and his mistress, but
I don't
okay.
know. She's on TikTok. Who cares?
Okay.
Got a real-
So anyways, so the whole thing falls apart, right? So now Sherry's out on the market, and here is notorious MILF hunter Young Gravy, who's like, well, shit, if the internet's mom is on the market and I like to fuck moms, I should probably fuck that mom.
Back in America.
And at this point, Addison
I'm looking
Ray
at
is
some more-
basically like, you are also absolutely embarrassing.
Back
I
in
don't want
America.
anything to do with you anymore. And like unfollows her mom, unfollows her dad, like just breaks ties. And it's just like, okay, goodbye.
Wow.
Does she move out of the house?
Well, it's her house.
Right,
She moved out
yeah.
of like her fucking house. They move out. Like, go back home, mom and dad. Get out of my mansion. So
So
I don't remember what
is
this
Young
video
Gravy.
is.
This is Sherry is the mom.
Yeah.
Sherry shooting her shot at Young
Oh,
Gravy.
yeah. So this is Young Gravy talking about he wants somebody he can butter their biscuit, and then it's Sherry making a bunch of biscuits in nothing but an apron.
Back in America. I'm looking to make some whoopee, you feel me? Trying to butter the biscuit.
There you go. Just looking to make some whoopee, Kelly. Trying to butter the biscuit. So she's buying a bunch of biscuits, boom. Biscuits.
Those
Back in
biscuits
America.
look like shit,
I'm
Sherry.
looking to make some whoopee. you
They
feel me?
really do.
Like
She
if
ain't
you're
cooking.
trying to
They do.
if you're trying to snag
her-
Young Gravy, you better be
Yes,
making
eyes.
biscuits from scratch.
So then they start, well, flirting back and forth on TikTok. Young Gravy's like, well, shit, yeah, I want the bump that comes along with trying to fuck Addison Ray's mom. So yeah, hell yeah.
Addison Ray's mom got real dead eyes right there.
Yeah.
She's
They're not
got a
great.
little bit of a Linda Carter thing going on though.
Linda Carter. So then enter Monty. Remember Monty who cheated on her?
Still on Team
and then
Monty Kelly? Look at this fucking photo. Look at this.
also cheated on his mistress. And then when he found out Young Gravy's trying to fuck his ex-wife, this is what he posts.
I muted it. because
Definitely
there's
need
music.
volume on this one.
Well, there's music.
Is it music? It's just him flexing and screaming, shirtless into the camera,
Let's fucking go, Monty. Get him.
because he's trying to get Young Gravy to take a boxing match with him.
Yeah, good. He should.
Oh my god! So then the family's like,
Yikes.
horrendous, Monty, embarrassing. So then Young Gravy is like, oh, are you upset that I'm trying to fuck your wife? Because I'm gonna take her to the VMAs. And he brings her to the VMAs, and they start kissing on the red carpet, looking all awkward, like looking real weird. And that's definitely like a publicity kiss.
There
Where
she
they're
looks
publicizing-
like-
She ran from that real quick.
Yeah,
That's
they're like-
definitely a 7-year-old kissing their teacher when they did.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're like, throw a couple kisses in there. But then the show started, Kelly, and the drinks start flowing. And, Nicki Minaj is out there on stage. And people are singing and dancing. And Young Gravy and Sherry are just kind of vibing in the crowd.
I got you.
What was that? Okay, Jane, that's what she said. And you know what?
And there they are
What was-
in the background of the shot, just making out.
Going to town.
They made out through much of the VMAs. So Young Gravy definitely fucked Addison Ray's mom.
It would sure seem that way.
Monty
Yeah.
should have done a run-in and beat the shit out of him.
Well, he couldn't do a run-in because he was not invited.
Well, if they had booked the program better, he would have been there.
And unfortunately, Dove Cameron didn't bring him as her date, so that
Give
didn't
Kelly
work
the
out
book for
on
on the VMA and
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking Monty be there in a heartbeat.
But he did the next best thing, Kelly. So what happened is then he posted a shirtless Instagram picture.
Good.
Remember, Kelly's Team Monty over here. Kelly's all about this dude.
He should have left Young Gravy a bloody mess at the end of the VMAs.
He posted this shirtless Instagram picture here.
Hashtag tired of living a lie.
Yep.
Unbothered.
Unbothered. Because this is a real unbothered move right here. And thank you, Young Gravy, for taking the leftovers. I would rather spend time with my 2 daughters and 2 grandkids that Sherry made me abandon as a child in order to be with her. And then something down at the bottom about don't let a woman make you choose between her or your blood child. So who knows? Who fucking knows?
That's right, Monty. Take back your life.
But he's all mad. So then, continuing to be unbothered, he posts an Instagram reel today at the airport where he aggressively flicks his tongue. And I think this is to music. I don't remember what this is to.
It is. They're all to music.
Yeah. Just imagine you're one of the most successful internet personalities in the world, and your dad is like, "Look how fast my tongue moves," and you're just like,
"He said I'm coming to
me
lick
off
up
this
that
planet."
Young Gravy.
Dad having a break.
I kind of have no. I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure she's a lovely person, but this is exactly what a person who gets famous for being famous kind of. I think this is where your life goes.
This is what you sign up
for. The art.
This is exactly what you sign up for.
That's why many like child actors have shitty parents.
Exactly, exactly.
But
when
at
you're
least
gonna
the
go
child
famous,
actor has some talent. You know,
you gotta know that your parents are not train wrecks who are gonna be posting shirtless videos on the internet because your mom's trying to fuck a rapper. You know,
but also this is probably just a majority of Americans, but they just have means.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, they're not exceptionally shitty. You know?
Yeah,
you know, like
all those nobodies on TikTok with huge foreheads who are like, "Nobody better try and steal my man. You better not take my man."
Yeah,
nobody gives a shit.
So that's Young Gravy, Lee. What do you think?
I think I hate it.
You'd have to listen to some Young Gravy music, right?
I bet you like it.
I mean, I kind of do. Yeah, like I need to check it out at least. Like,
well, you better not do it anywhere that gives him a click. You done fell into his hole.
I mean, he's already got the clicks, Jose.
Yeah.
I think, care about your like clicks. I said, this song has, I mean, hundreds of millions of plays. It's so fucking crazy that, like, it reminds me of the first time I heard about the show Blue Bloods. Like, my father-in-law liked the show Blue Bloods.
Yeah, my dad loves the Blue Bloods.
But you're like, I'd never heard of it. And you're like, it's 8 seasons? It's just been on for 8 seasons and I have no idea what it is?
Tom Selleck's new jam.
New jam?
The world's big, you guys. Yeah, that was fucking 10 years ago. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you know, his newest jam he was riding.
Man, we're lucky. Like, I'm lucky if I listen to like 8 new songs a year. I don't have time for hearing a Young Gravy. I gotta go listen to Limp Bizkit again.
Yeah, exactly. Was Young Gravy making music in the early aughts? Then I'm not familiar.
Breaking Benjamin featuring Young Gravy.
Yeah.
That's the one Young Gravy I would have heard. Well, that happened, though, when fucking Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne did that song. All these youths were like, what the fuck's an Ozzy Osbourne? Mm-hmm. And then, like, he had like a weird, crazy bump.
Not a whole,
that was the Sting thing. Remember when Sting was on, or Diddy did the, what the fuck? Why am I forgetting the entire thing?
Puff Daddy?
Diddy and Sting did their song together when Biggie died. And Sting's kids were like, holy shit, Diddy invited you to be on a song. And he was like, this is my fucking song. Like,
motherfucker, you think Diddy came up with this bitch? This is
he's like, I'm Sting.
Exactly.
He shows him the email where he asks permission, and he's like, I got Photoshop too, Dad.
Yeah. That's like when Bowie stopped performing Man Who Sold the World because he was tired of people saying it was a cool 9 Inch Nails cover. Or not 9 Inch Nails.
Right.
Nirvana cover.
Yeah. Nirvana, yeah.
Motherfucker.
It's fucking wild.
It's twice tonight we've talked about Sting.
Read a goddamn book.
Stop jerking off so much and read more.
I do appreciate these culture lessons, though, Mahoney. I do appreciate it because my finger is many places apparently, but not the pulse. Mahoney got his finger on the pulse.
You know what's funny though?
I know it's different, Addison Ray.
Okay, so I thought the same thing, Jose.
High five, Kelly.
I almost
know
launched,
that name from.
I almost launched incognito mode on Chrome to search that up, but I am on my work computer, so not good.
Yikes.
He's like,
Where's
why
my
is the
phone?
bat phone ringing? Oh, yeah, I'm on porn on the work computer.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, but like this is Mahoney's General Hospital.
Pretty much.
All right, I'll let you have it.
Funny thing
But there's
though,
some
like
horrible shit out
we
there,
say
too.
Mahoney's fingers on the pulse, but I feel like people Zoe's age would be like, "Oh, who gives a shit about Young Gravy? That's for old people."
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
probably like,
people
"Ugh,
Zoe's
the
age don't even know how to
VMAs?
stand, so.
Who watches the VMAs?
Yeah. They're like, I bet you old people still think MTV has music videos.
It just has ridiculousness now, Dad.
No, we've
Duh.
known that for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Jose and I were talking about just doing our own thing and calling it music television and see if anybody gives a shit. But actually, like, showing videos. I mean, we'd get shut down.
Great.
But, like, MTV, you're not using it. You're not using that name. Are you music
I think the
television?
problem is, I don't even think people are making videos anymore.
No, they definitely make
Yeah,
videos.
they put them on
They
YouTube.
are,
Because
but
they still do the
YouTube's-
awards.
YouTube's the outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they should be ashamed of themselves. Still, breathe.
Did you? So the other thing that happened at the VMAs was Taylor Swift won Video of the Year, the last award of the night, right?
For Shake It Off.
Announced,
Does she have an album out?
she announced, no, she did that re-release of her album with the 10-minute song about how she hates Jake Gyllenhaal. And she made a 10-minute video with the girl from Stranger Things, the redhead,
Oh, get
Sadie
outta
Sink,
here.
and that's what won. But the last award of the night, Taylor Swift shows up at the VMAs. I don't even know if she's been there for like 3 or 4 years. Shows up at the VMAs, wins the last award, and is like, "Hey, because you like voted me best video, like I'm going to announce that I'm dropping a new album." And then the stupid children on the this is how I know the kids still watch the VMAs, because they're like, what would she have done if she didn't win the last? And it's like, they fucking told her she was going to win or she wouldn't have come to the VMAs. Like, she wasn't going to come. Like,
Yeah, I don't think they have, like, Price Waterhouse for the VMAs. They don't give a fuck.
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
The MTV Movie Awards were my first look into the idea that these award shows are bullshit, but I loved the MTV Movie Awards because they were bullshit and they had stupid categories. But that's when I was like, oh, yeah, this is just them all just patting each other on the back. None of this matters.
Exactly. They probably called her, or she might have called them. Somebody made a call and was like, hey, if I win the last award of the night, I'll drop a new album on your show. And they were like, sure,
What?
do it, you know?
Like, well, what a coincidence. Turns out you won.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the chances?
Dink of coinks.
Fucking nuts. Whew. All right. So, we got a classic this week, Nines, before we get down to it?
Yes.
Because, man, we're going to get down to it.
From episode 603 from August 2nd, 2022. Here is
going way
Kelly.
back.
Here's Kelly telling us about the rehearsal.
All right. This is what planted the seed, as they say. All right. Well, we'll be back in just a minute. Love you. Bye.
Enjoy the refreshing taste of an ice-cold Popcast classic.
What you got, Kelly?
Not much. On HBO, I've been watching The Rehearsal, and I've been trying to get all of you fools
I gotta
to watch
it
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I added
gotta
it to
watch
my
it.
things to watch.
Which
It is
was
a
that?
a show for sick people. So the rehearsal it's hosted by Nathan Fielder, who did Nathan For You on Comedy Central. Okay. And he basically helps people rehearse things. Such as in the first episode, he's helping this guy who needs to confess to one of his friends that he didn't actually have a master's degree when he told them he did 12 years ago. So to rehearse this, they meticulously rebuild the entire bar that they're going to do this confession in a warehouse.
What?
I could. He is. That's his thing. He is very when he commits.
He commits so hard.
He commits to a bit more than I applaud his commitment level. Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah. So yeah, they fully recreate the bar perfectly in every way. They hire like 30 actors to play the roles of customers and employees, and then he has an actor play the role of the woman he's talking to, and they have this guy go through every possible permutation of this conversation and try and get it down to the best possible outcome.
So you go in with like a complete perfect game plan. You know how to work.
Like to the point where he's got like conversation charts plotted out where it's like, oh, if they do this, go here. If they talk about this, do this.
Yeah, his sense of humor is definitely not for everybody. He's got a level, but his jokes go deep. Like he takes it deep, and if what he does you're into and you dig it, you go along for the ride. It's pretty good.
and then the second and third episode, and I think the fourth as well, will feature a woman who's trying to decide if she wants a kid. So they're going to rehearse having a child. So over the course of 2 months, he's giving her the experience of having a child from age 0 to 18, where they keep swapping out the kid with various child actors and age him up like 3 years every 2 days or something like that.
That's fucking
I feel like if that happened more often, there would be no children.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's
and since they can't have child actors after 7:30 p.m., what they do is when the kid goes to bed, they swap him out with a robot. And then when it was a baby, in the garage, they had this dude watching a live stream of an actual baby sleeping. And whenever the baby would cry, he'd have to trigger a button on the robot baby to make it cry. So they'd have to go in and then help it. It's insane. I said in our group chat, it's what if Mahoney used his powers completely for evil.
Yeah, no, you know what?
And with a budget from HBO.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't know about this, Mahoney, because this seems right up your fucking committed alley.
One of my favorite Nathan For You bits is where he was trying to help this like a magician, and the magician had to nail this trick, and if he didn't, a machine would rip off his pants and expose himself to a bunch of children, and it would get him
what the fuck
turned into a sex offender.
Yeah, and he's talking to you like David Copperfield, like real, and then I'm going to attempt to do this trick, and if it doesn't, it'll expose, a machine will come down, pull this string, which will then pull this zipper down, which will then drop my pants in front of this crowd of school children. Like pans over to a bunch of school children sitting down. And then it's like, not only that, there's an officer waiting right here to arrest me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Yeah,
his bit, he commits.
Yeah, and this is the ultimate, because now he's working with an insane budget. And so the episodes, the first one starts with him explaining to the guy they're going to help that he's been practicing the conversation that he's having with him right now, because like the guy, he's like, all right, remember when you had some building inspectors come in? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, all right, they were my team. I had them 3D scan your entire house, and then we built the replica. And I've been working with an actor that was pretending to be you this whole time.
Jesus Christ.
It's amazing. It's the rehearsal on HBO. I cannot recommend it enough. I love it.
Nothing quenches your thirst quite like a Popcast classic.
That's a real good primer there. Good shit.
It really is.
Now we've all watched it.
And I
We
like
have all watched it.
I like hearing that back because you were like, this is what 1, 2, and 3 are about, and I think maybe 4 too, which means you hadn't watched 4, which explains why you were like, boy, this shit really goes off the rails and gets absolutely insane.
Because the thing that I realized, it might have just been yesterday, because again, I just watched the 6th one like maybe the day before yesterday, but I mean, Kelly gave a real good, like, he essentially pitched the show, right? Because everything you said was completely accurate. Like, this is how it starts. He has the thing with the guy. He's trying to tell his friend that he doesn't have a master's degree and all this shit, right? And so, like, that would lead you to believe that that is the
premise
format of the show.
Yeah.
But, like, it completely throws its premise out the fucking window at episode 3.5, let's say.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I told you guys as much as I could without ruining things. And be warned, people, spoilers will come.
Right. It was all so very vague that you were able to get the point across, but like none of the information really stuck. I just knew that I was in for some fucking wild shit.
Yeah. Exactly. Same. I was like, I know Kelly's told me a bunch of this, but I could not have seen any of it coming, even if you were like, listen.
And they edit it beautiful. Like when Kelly was talking about, I've hired an actor to play you to talk about how this would go, because like they're having a conversation and he laughs and he's like, so you think this is going good, right? Like, you know, we've laughed, we joked. And he was like, well, that's because I made it this way. I tailored this conversation to get this response from you. And then that's when he breaks it in. And then they do this beautiful thing of him rehearsing the questions with the actor, blended back in with, like, he'll talk to the actor, but then when it's the actor's time to give the answer, they'll cut to the real guy giving the answer, or the opposite. You know what I mean? Like the real guy will talk, and then it'll cut to the actor and him. And it's amazing. And he was like, you know, the one thing I didn't count for was when we did it, when in the studio, I had a cool chair.
Yeah, right.
But then the conversation flipped because the chair I actually sit in made me look ridiculous, and it did, because you know it made him look like he was being talked down to as a kid, not like he's in control of the conversation. So you don't know if like, is that real, or was that completely planned from the beginning? Was he wanted to sit in that chair and put himself in that position?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they sent the people in there to kind of scan his whole apartment, so why would they have missed a weird detail like that?
Right. And the visual of it was fucking
bookshelf with all of his books, like fucking with the titles on the side.
Yeah.
They got all that, but you know, they missed the chair. But
because they cut to him making the go.
No, they did a thing at the end of the episode where he, you know, he's gonna tell the guy that, you know, he kind of tried to plant the answers to the trivia. Because the guy's like a big trivia nerd, and like, and
it's days like this that curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder.
That was fucking hilarious.
So the guy wants to tell his friend that he, you know, that he doesn't have a master's degree, like it's some big deep dark secret, but he also wants to win the trivia. Like it's important that they don't fuck up and like bomb
during
out
the
trivia
practice.
day,
He's like, I noticed when he was getting the answers wrong, it flustered the whole thing. So he's like, I don't want him to cheat, because he's already expressed how important it is for him, the legitimacy of the trivia game.
So he tells
like,
so
how
they
the
show
fuck
him
can
at
I
the end of the night.
eliminate?
Yeah, so he kind of like, you know, as they're walking around talking, whatever, he just has things come about that he's able to tell him the answers, because he gets with the trivia guy ahead of time and gets the questions.
Yeah, he's like, I created this whole website, and I was going to hire this guy under the website, so I had him go ahead and give me an example. And then he's like, throughout our walks during the weeks of preparation, I just slowly peppered him in. like they walk by a construction site and he's like, "Oh man, construction's going good." And he's like, "Yeah, but this ain't the tallest building in the world. That building, blah blah blah."
It's the Burj Khalifa
so
in
fucking
Dubai.
funny.
Yeah.
They get to the warehouse and he answers the code and he's like, 1978. Yeah, that's the French Revolution, right?
1978. Yeah, it's like some Slumdog Millionaire shit.
Yes.
But they show at the very end of the episode, after he's, the friend's cool and everything's gonna be all right, he goes out and he wants to tell him like, hey, I just so you know, I kind of implanted the answers to you, whatever, it's one that makes sure that you knew. And they cut to the actor that plays him, and like the actor kind of like fucking launches in on him, like says you fucked up the whole night, and like how could you do this or whatever. And you kind of think they're gonna cut back to the real dude, and they just don't. He's like, maybe we'll leave that part out. maybe we'll let him find that on the show.
He has the actors give him like the best version, but then he also has them go like the worst
case
version.
scenario.
And then he's like, okay, lean into that. Yeah.
And then, he kind of proves it to dude, Core. He expected some huge blow up, but she was super cool with it. It was no big deal. Everyone expects this big scene or a big argument. But, maybe you don't need to prepare for that. This poor fucking guy.
That's the first episode. What a premise for a show, right?
Really sets the
that's
tone.
What we're doing for the show. It really sets the tone. And then they just throw it out the window because this crazy bitch that we meet in episode 2.
Well, and you have to think about it too. They cast this, so they knew what was up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He knew exactly what he was getting.
But I don't see. That's the thing. Like, I know they cast it, or like, well, they look for people on Craigslist, I guess. For that's what they wanted to do. I guess.
Sure.
Which is essentially casting, but like, so much of reality TV is such bullshit or whatever. Like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is all nonsense. Like, whatever. It's all fucking staged. But there are parts of this I know in my goddamn bones are as real can get.
So I've done,
especially when you start getting towards the end. like, so Angela.
I did enjoy in episode 2 where they brought in the guy and just clip after clip of this woman being like, listen, I am about as religious as it gets, and I am not going to sleep with you. And then the guy's like, I think I'm going to move into that house because I think she's down to fuck.
Yes. Yeah. You use condoms? Not really.
Yeah. And then the middle of the fucking night, he's like, all right, I'm going to bounce because I don't really think you're down to fuck.
But also at the same time, it's kind of fucked up on her where she's like, oh, your first night here? Cool. You're on kid duty. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like, bitch,
because he was the dad.
Yeah. Yeah, so Angela wants to have. I think she might want to have a kid. So this is the one that Kelly talked about, where they swap the kid out like every couple of hours.
And that was the first scene of the episode too.
The episode begins where it just looks like they straight kidnap a kid.
Yeah,
like high five,
right.
like you're watching, the back room of a fucking mission in Afghanistan.
Absolutely, yeah. The climbing in through the window,
absolutely fucking nuts.
She puts the kid down in the car seat next to the car to load the groceries, and somebody just runs up and swaps it. Like,
when they go to swap the kids, he's like, she put a beanie on the kid. She put a beanie on the kid. She'll know. She'll recognize the kid. We got to get a beanie now. Get a beanie. And he's on like the fucking walkie-talkie. Get a beanie on that kid now. She's going to know.
So she's like, yeah, I want to have a child, but I also want to have in my perfect world. Like, they have this fucking house built for her, or like, they rent this house for her, and they set up all this farm shit, and she wants to be off the grid and stuff because she's fucking crazy. But she's like, I want to have I would have a partner. I'd have a man, I'd have a husband, have this kid. And so like they set her up on some dates, and then she meets this fucking dork who crashed a Scion TC going 100 miles an hour. And
a guy built in a lab uniquely for Lee to hate him.
Oh, absolutely.
I hated him so fucking much. Like she's just like, oh, cool. He's really into Jesus. I guess that means it's cool. It's not cool, you lunatic. This guy fucking sucked.
Just
like,
rattling off
talking about
random
numbers.
Yeah, he was like a
837
lunatic. Oh my!
He'd look
fucking
down at the
God.
speedometer and he'd be like, "Oh, we're going 55." You know, Job 55 says blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then he looked up and he's like, "Oh, speed limit 65." In Proverbs 65, the man said, "Oh shit, look at that speed limit 33 again."
The moment when he goes to his house and you meet the roommate, and the roommate's like, "Not every number means everything."
Yeah.
At this point, she's asked him to move into the house to be the dad, and this guy's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean, sure?"
Step to
and
me,
that's
bro.
when they go to the
Step to me,
roommate,
bro.
Yeah. That's when we meet the roommate, who was like, "Hey, man, you ever think about, I don't know, just like experiencing the world around you?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna fuck this chick, even though she's like probably not gonna want to fuck. We're definitely gonna fuck. I gotta
Puts a
bring my
bong in his
bong."
bag, and he's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's a bong. You know, smoke weed." And the next clip is him showing him how a bong works.
Yeah.
And then they go outside, and he's like, "Where's your license plate?"
That was the best. And he's like, "You don't need a license plate to drive?" And he's like, "No." It's like, but like, you're looking at the guy and you're like, I can't tell if he's answering no, like, no, the car still works without a license plate, or if he like, you know, like
And he's
yeah,
like,
we
"You want
know
me to
you don't-
drive? Because you want me to drive since you've been smoking weed?" And he's like, "Nah, I smoke weed and drive all the time."
Yeah. Did I tell you about the time I crashed my Scion at 100 miles an hour?
Like, yeah, man, you sure did. Yeah. And then Angela's like, "Okay, cool, it's your turn for the kid." And then he left, and that's the point where like I already hated him, right? But then he left, and I'm like, good. Like I would have judged him so much worse had he stayed, because it's so fucking crazy. This woman is out of her mind. So that's how we meet Angela. We get the premise for this rehearsal is going to be with the baby and all this, and then they're going to raise the kid up, and she wants to go from 6 or from 0 to 18. That's the idea.
What was it? It aged up 3 years every 2 weeks, every week,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it's at the end of episode 2 or the start of episode 3 where Nathan decides he'll be the dad.
Right.
I think it's 3 because they go through kind of discussing.
No, it's the end of it's the end of 2 because 3
Oh,
starts
he had
with
the talk.
Halloween.
Yes. And that's when Google is the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, "Okay, I'll be the dad." 'Cause like, I don't have a kid. I want to have a kid someday. I'll join in on this rehearsal. And it begins. The third episode starts with them picking a Halloween costume. It's like, "I'm gonna be Batman. The kid's gonna, our son Adam's gonna be Robin. Do you want to be Catwoman, Mom?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, no. Halloween is the most satanic holiday ever, and it's of the devil, so I can't be Catwoman."
It's the day with the most human sacrifices every year.
Google it. And he's like, and he's like, they just sacrifice kids. You're like, "Oh yeah, just go look it up." And he's like, "Where?" And she's like, "Oh, places like Bohemian Grove. It happens all the time." And he's like, "Huh?" Like, okay. And like later on, he's like, "I looked it up, and I googled it, and it turns out Halloween is just it's Celtic. It's old Celtic traditions." And then she goes, "Did you do a keyword search? Halloween satanic origins?" Like, no.
Yeah, and then she started going into the whole, Google is
owned by the
limiting
devil.
searches. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't show you the satanic searches unless you put satanic in the search bar.
The devil's like his main purpose is to make sure no one knows he exists, so that's why he like runs Google to make sure that he doesn't show up. And was it this episode or a later episode where Nathan was like, "Why don't you just make me a list of everything that is satanic so that I..."
It's later. Yeah,
no,
yeah, I
it's
think
later
that's the
because-
next episode.
Because she's definitely at the end of his rope. No, I think it's the 5th one because that's when she's like, "What's your favorite movie?" She's like, "Apocalypto."
Yeah, he's like, oh, fucking Mel Gibson. I love Mel Gibson. I love Gibson. And he's like, oh, well, he said bad things about Jews. Right after having the talk, because he wants to raise the kid Jewish or have him.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Hang on, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
But speaking of anti-Semitic people, we have the guy
Yes.
who's going to practice having a conversation with his brother about his inheritance, and he keeps using the word Jew derogatorily.
Yeah. And Nathan's standing there with his laptop on like he looks like he's in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
Yeah, he's got the flowchart going. He's got the conversation flowchart.
I'm not entirely
And
sure we should be saying that. And he's like, no, that's just how me and my brother talk. Like, it's fine. That's just what we say. Like,
so
he's like, he'd get it.
this
He'd
is
come back with like some Jew thing, something else, and he's like, well, I don't really want to, change how you guys would talk naturally. It's
But okay.
Where do you think you would throw this in at?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Because so this is episode 3. It's really the last time that they show you like a rehearsal.
Yeah, the last new rehearsal.
As premised in the show, because he's gone for so long doing this, between this and episode 4, that he misses like 9 years of the fake kid's life. So it was like, all right, fuck it, we're just gonna do this until the end. But the guy was trying to have a conversation with his brother because their grandfather just died, and there's apparently a sizable inheritance. But the brother is concerned that the girlfriend is nothing but a gold digger, so he doesn't want to give her the money. So Nathan builds a recreation of a Raising Cane's chicken restaurant in a warehouse next to the bar, which he moved from New York to Oregon in a new warehouse.
And he fully staffs the Canes, too.
Yes, fully staffs the Canes. There's one rough part where he's having a conversation, and there's a woman behind him, like, fake eating a chicken strip, and he kind of looks down at her and has this look of, come on. And it's during that conversation.
The other one at the checkout is just typing in random gibberish.
Right, yeah. And it's in that conversation where he's talking to the actor playing his brother, and he's like, nah, man, she's not a gold digger. She's a real Jew about money. And that's when Nathan's like, what?
He comes over with his Chick-fil-A order pad. Could you say that one more time?
But he says it like 9 times in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Like, he does. And it's just great because Nathan's like, I'm not entirely sure that's appropriate. And the guy is just like, no, let me reassure you. It's 1,000% appropriate. Just keeps saying it. Keeps leaning in.
That's the thing. He leans into it so much that, like, her being a Jew about money is his entire thesis to why he should get the inheritance.
Yeah.
like, don't worry, it's fine. She's a real Jew about money. And he's like, oh, God, okay, whatever. But it's also in this episode where he's not like, the guy's not like leaning into the rehearsal quite like the first dude was, the trivia guy was. So that's when he fabricates this entire scenario where the actor who plays his brother asks him for help for something. And he needs to go help him like move a generator at his grandfather's house, where there's another actor who's playing the actor's grandfather, who will then bond with homeboy on a literal hunt to dig up gold that he has left somewhere on his property.
So the guy who's trying to rehearse and this old man actor go out into the forest on a gold hunt for hours.
Yeah,
as a favor.
They can bond. They can have some beers. Get the chicken.
Yeah. And then the grandfather shits his pants.
Yes. And
so that they
to his credit,
bond.
Yeah, and to his credit,
because that was the
skip a beat.
That was the thing he kept talking in his defense, was like, I was the one changing Grandpa's pants. You weren't there.
Yeah, me and Grandpa were watching Dragon Ball Z, and I was wiping his ass.
Yeah, I did know that. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. So the whole thing was like, we'll see if this will kind of give him the bond, remind him about his grandparent, and then the actor would be real thankful, like Thank you.
And the reason they're doing all this, the reason they're doing the bond, is so that the actor's grandpa, quote unquote, can die, and then present him with a situation where the grandpa wants to leave him some money for helping him dig up the gold.
Because they did in fact find gold.
Yes,
To
literally found
elicit
gold that he
real
buried out in the woods.
emotion into the equation.
And it apparently worked. Like, he fucking, broke down crying in front of this actor guy, but then, never showed up again. So they never had a chance to, see it in real life, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like it gave him what he needed. So I hope it worked out for him.
Yeah. Fucking nuts.
So yeah, Nathan gets home and finds his son Adam is now a teenager rather than the 6-year-old child he left behind.
Or is that... No. That's after he comes back, because he's still in L.A., because that's when he does his Fielder method acting class.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
It's not until he goes back from the Fielder method acting class that he finds teen Adam.
The Fielder method acting class was the point where I was just like, what the fuck are we even doing here? It got so deep in Inception levels of I am hosting a class. I'm teaching this class. Now I'm a participant in the class, and a bunch of actors are playing the other classmates and me in the class. Now I'm living the life of the actor who I'm trying to... And it was just like, what the fuck are we even doing? What is the purpose of any of this?
And it's
rented
so,
apartment, hired actors to play his roommates.
Well, he had the guy go pretend to be the person, hired actors.
Yeah, makes a bunch of actors get actual jobs to shadow their subjects.
And has him move into the fake apartment of the roommates of the guy he's following. But then Nathan, as the actor, goes through everything he just had the actor goes through, and he moves in to a room based off the actors he hired, based off the actors.
No, it's not based off of. That's his house. That's his room. He just moves into dude's apartment.
Oh, that's
but there's that one part where he plays him, where he goes and does the part.
Right, yeah, because then he has
where
fake
where
Nathan come and tell him
ends
to
up,
move in. Yeah, right.
He ends up he plays the whole 15 minutes you just watched the other guy do. Now he's doing it.
I love the bit when he's signing the paperwork and he's just like, wow, there's a lot of legal stuff in here I should probably read, but everyone else is just signing it, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing where this episode, it's because of the multiple layers of Inception, where he's teaching the class, then he's the guy in the class. They go back and forth a lot. It's definitely the most contrived, as far as this is the one that would be the easiest to be bullshit, because he kind of makes himself the subject,
right?
To a degree.
And they're all actors, yeah.
So that one I think could definitely not be legit, but also, he's such a weird fucking dude, and has he displays this odd, I said in our group chat, this odd vulnerability about his ability to perceive emotions a lot, and kind of is why he admires actors so much, because they can kind of turn it on, and
I think that also plays into you just believing everything he can do, because he's I don't really know what's going on, when the whole time he's I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah, as someone whose wife and children refer to him as dead inside on a very regular basis, I could definitely relate to some of the shit that he was saying. It's not, some of the things he was saying are not unfamiliar to me. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I've been there, But it is after this crazy Fielder method thing that he goes home and finds that the son Adam is a teen, and that's when teen Adam fucking rules. This kid Joshua that plays Teen Adam is good. Fucking awesome.
He is great. I was like, he should be in a Marvel movie. He should get a chance to do something.
Yeah,
because he comes back and he's like, "Oh, cool."
Because it all starts. Is that the?
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that's the episode where it starts with him talking to what's the woman's name? I can't remember her name.
Angela.
And she's she's talking about her past. When she's like, "Oh yeah, I
right.
was a real wild child growing up. You know, I did a bunch of drugs. I ran away from home and all that kind of stuff." And it all circles back on that by the end of the episode in a way I never would have expected.
Well, when he first comes home,
the gears turning.
he's got. When he first comes home, the kid treats him nice. You know, they do a nice hug and this and that, and then he breaks character, and he's like, "Okay, I'm breaking character. I'm talking to you. Like, how would you have felt if he just came home?" And he's like, "Well, honestly, I would have been pissed." And he's like, "Okay, can we come back where I'm going to come in? We're going to replay this, and I want you to play that." And from that moment on is when they start throwing in the elements of drug and the fucking, you know, the wild kid rebelling.
Yeah, because he's like, "Do you have a friend who maybe had a dad who wasn't around?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Talk to him." And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, my buddy's life fucking sucks, you know, because he's like all these drugs and all this shit." And Nathan's like, "All because his dad's not around?" And he's like, I kind of think so, yeah.
I liked when he was like, he was doing drugs, he's having sex, and he's like, when was he having sex? He's like, I don't know, like 12 or 13, and he's like, and that's because his dad wasn't there, and he's like, yeah, definitely. But I really think Teen Adam was kind of like, I mean, this kid was fucking mad chicks. You should probably get me some chicks.
Dude, he was like smashing all the time.
Yeah.
And it all kind of culminates with Adam
staged overdose.
A staged overdose, which it's a great fucking Angela moment too.
Because I don't think they told Angela it was fake.
Oh, not at all. And Nathan was selling it.
Yeah.
Really good. Really, really good.
Because it's not like he was like, oh no, he's overdosing. Teen Adam is laying on the ground convulsing, and Nathan is screaming, "I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening."
And they cut to the mom, and she's like dancing with her headphones in the kitchen.
Because that's the thing. It's like, you know, before that, like earlier on, like, you know, she's like, "Oh, I want another." God, I fucking hate Angela so much. But she's like, "Yeah, you know, I want to have a farm and be self-sustaining, whatever." Which means that Nathan has to go out and like plant a bunch of vegetables and shit, you know. But
oh yeah, and her Etsy business, because that's when he came back and saw she's like not taking anything super seriously.
Yeah,
he watched through all the footage, and she's putting like
they show him like planning, like actually going out and busting his ass trying to build like an irrigation system, and she's just dancing around the kitchen, you know. So while Adam's having a fucking overdose, that's how you know this woman is unhinged, because she's just sitting on the side of her bed, staring at the wall like hand dancing.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And then she runs downstairs and sees Nathan and this kid having an overdose, and like she's like, "What the fuck?"
And like, of everything he can be yelling in that moment, I don't know what's happening, is like, that's what tells her like this might be real, because he's telling me he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he's the one who knows what's going on, you know.
And so that all culminates with him wanting to.
Oh, did you notice the ambulance workers were his class?
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And so the end of that was he goes around town trying to find him, and he finds him because at a playground with his
gurney
drunk buddies.
and runs off into like the night.
Yeah, which is a very good dramatic bit. It's great. And so he finds them, whatever, and they kind of have a look, and he's at a playground with his drunk buddies, and so he goes to go down the slide, and like 6-year-old Adam comes out of the bottom of the slide, which is a very cool thing. It's pretty neat, you know.
That was such a cool. That was like once I realized, oh my god, this is what they're doing. Holy shits!
Yeah. And that's when I was 100%.
Teenage Adam has to climb out of the slide at the top.
At the end of the credits. Is that it?
Like, that could have been the last shot in the show, and I would have been happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then shit kind of goes nuts with poor 6-year-old Adam.
The child he breaks.
Yes.
The
Aw,
child he breaks.
Little Remy.
That poor kid. That poor kid.
Little Remy.
But hopefully,
So it's at this point where he's like, okay, I'm not going to do any more rehearsals. We're just going to do this. I'm going to try to do the dad thing, and so he's more like present as the
he wants to
the fake
relive.
dad.
He's like, can we go back to when he was 6 when I left to go do this so I can relive the whole moment?
Oh, hold on.
Which
we didn't mention the mirrors that
Yeah.
have the app
right,
functionality
yeah.
to make them look older.
Those mirrors
I
are
don't
nuts.
think I remember that.
Yeah, they had they set the mirrors up because they were aging the kids. So to help sell it, like the mirror in the bathroom aged you when you looked into
Yeah,
it.
like had an old person filter on it. It was just
So
it's
you
just like a
aged
screen
with the kid.
Yeah.
So now the kid's a teenager. Well, you're not young you anymore. This is what you would look like. This is the age you would
8,
be
9
if he
years
was
from
a
now.
teenager.
because then
Yeah.
there's the
Yikes.
last episode where he looks in the mirror and he's the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Fucking
that's
wild.
it goes straight single white female for a second.
Yeah. So he decides to be more present as a dad to Nathan, to Adam this time around. And talking to Angela about it, she was like, I think that would be something I can do. Which, when he did that, like in my head, I'm like, kind of fucking with the experiment, bro. Like, this is not necessarily the point of the exercise for this crazy chick. I'm like, okay, all right, but let's see what happens. And so he's like kind of super dad to this kid. And she's so fucking crazy. Like, she's you're talking about, this faith-based homeschool education and all this shit, whatever, and all this stuff, and the holidays are coming up and all this, and he's like, oh, maybe we'll throw some fucking Judaism in there. Let's do that, And she's not for it at all, because of course she's not. She's a fucking lunatic. But he's
I
so
will not
adamant.
renounce Jesus Christ as the Savior.
He's so adamant about it that like he like starts sneaking the kid out for like Jewish lessons and all this stuff,
And
whatever.
he's like, "Oh, I signed the kid up for swimming. We'll be back." And then in the inner monologue, he's like, "I know she said that she shot it down, but in the end, I'm the director, so we're gonna go do it."
Yeah. But I'm just like, that's like, maybe you do that, right? Like in real life, maybe you do that because it's important to you, whatever. But this is not your real kid. This is not your real wife. Like, what do you give such a fuck about it?
Yeah, but he's got angles. He's got angles because
he got
he
angles.
throws that back into everyone's face. Everyone's version of what they think is right. He kind of gives everybody a little thing because keep going.
Yeah. So he's taking the kid out to these Judaism lessons, and he meets this lovely lady who gives his kids some lessons in Judaism.
Oh yeah, because he's like the kid's asking questions, and he's like, "I just realized I don't know anything," because he's like, "Yeah, I didn't go to church when at the temples when I was a kid because it's boring." And he's like, "Then the kids asking questions, I realized I don't have the answers. Let me get
he's
it
like,
to
why
you."
don't the ladies wear the hats? And he's like, fuck, I don't know. Like, I have no idea why the ladies don't wear the hats. I have no idea. And so he's giving the stealth Jewish lessons for the kid. And this is also the one where to get out of the house to have something going on, he opens the bar in the warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I have this bar, so I got a special events liquor license. And to trick everybody, I built a 16-foot corridor entrance so no one knew they were walking into a warehouse with a set. And the inside of the bar is still fully worked."
82 foot.
Oh, 82?
Like, they put
Imagine
a sign on the
walking
facade of the
through.
building. Yeah. Oh, cool. What was it called? It was called
Nate's Lizard Lounge.
Nate's Lizard Lounge.
Nate's Lizard Lounge. Yeah.
He still had the original billboard up when they redid it, but he couldn't use that name and open it up, so he fucking changed the name.
So yeah, like Haley said, you're going into the new bar in town, Nate's Lizard Lounge, and you're hit with an 82-foot hallway.
And then the best thing about keeping up the lie about the swimming class was he would have to keep getting the kid wet before they went home.
Yeah.
And had it like this specify, the first time they walked in, he had the kid give pretty much Reservoir Dogs. The more details in the story, the more is believable. So he's like, yeah, a Ukrainian swim teacher. His whistle was red. His trunks were blue. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think the kid's tired now. He wants to go to bed. That's enough story now.
Yeah, and that was when he was talking about trying to maybe do some Judaism stuff around the holidays. That's when she got all pissy, and he was like, yeah, well, let's talk about something else. And that's when he was like, what's your favorite movie? And that's when she's like, Apocalypto is my favorite. Apocalypto is no one's favorite movie.
Mel Gibson's a very talented filmmaker.
Yeah, but if you're like a Jesus freak, why Apocalypto over The Passion of the Christ?
Because The Passion of the Christ is a snuff film.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah, but
I
Apocalypto.
just love when you watch that shit once.
If she's that into like Bohemian Grove and this and that and satanic things, she wouldn't like Mel Gibson be on her radar of like not like?
Well, no, because he's the one that he tells the Hollywood elite what it really is. He's a fucking rebel. Mel Gibson,
Okay. He's got the balls to talk to about what no one else would do.
Yeah, like the Jews. And
I do love when they bring the lady, the
teacher,
Hebrew school
teacher.
He
brings her over to be like, here, you try to talk to her.
Yeah, because
the teacher walks in and is basically like,
actress.
Exactly, everything cool, and the teacher's like, a minute in, she's like, fuck this chick, I hate anti-Semites.
Yeah, she's like, nope, I can't do this. I can't talk to it. Anti-Semite, I am done.
But the thing is, she's such an asshole though, Angela, because the lady's like, so okay, she's like, I can't accept Jews because they don't believe that Jesus Christ came and died for us and blah blah. And she's like, yeah, but what about like the culture, the family values of Judaism, and she's like, nah,
no, thank you.
Yeah, no, not into it at all. And that's when she's like, fuck this goyim. And so Nathan tries a few rehearsals with an actress, and they do a lot in this episode. What Jose was talking about before, where he'll be talking, and then the camera cuts, and he's actually talking to an actress, like pretending to be Angela, and frankly, fucking nailing it as Angela.
Yeah, she was really good.
Even the chick from Coors, like, nailed it perfectly. They had this thing. We didn't talk about that, but real quick was he hired the lady that was going to play her to do a fake interview, and had her tell her a lie to see how she would react if she would get all pissed. But he would send the people that were playing the actresses in. So the lady that was playing Angela, they brought in as like a fake nanny, so she could be around and observe her and play her perfectly. And they just nail everything.
Yeah. There was a point where, because, we know how I watch. There was a point where I'm watching and he's talking to Angela.
I can only imagine what this would be like for you.
He's talking to Angela, and it just clicks in my mind that I go, oh, I don't know when he's talking to real Angela or fake Angela. Like, I cannot tell.
Yeah. I can see that.
She's a really great actress. She's excellent.
Yeah. Like, that's how good they were doing. Like, and I didn't even notice it first. And then all of a sudden, I think at one point I was like, man, it'd be wild if he rehearsed this. And I was like, he might be fucking rehearsing this right now. This might not be the real Angela. And then I looked up and it was not. And I was like, oh shit.
We forgot to mention about the bar. To keep he employed all the acting class actors to work the bar to keep them employed during this whole thing, so that they could still have money and like be at his beck and call of whenever they needed him.
This single show employed more people than all of Discovery, I think.
Yeah, especially now.
I love when he's pitching this
and
fielder.
he's like, I love having a fake bar that HBO paid for.
Yes.
I love when he's pitching the fielder method to his acting class, and he's like, all right, so each one of you are gonna shadow the person that you're going to inhabit, and then I want you all to get jobs where they work. And then the one guy's like, man, I don't want to get a job, that's why I'm an actor.
I don't want to work.
And one of the other guys is like, oh, so we're stalking them? And he's like, oh, I mean,
light stalking.
Kinda. Yeah, light stalking.
Light stalking.
Yeah, but it's in this one too, and 5, where the kid does the Dr. Fart sketch that Nyes played in the opening.
Dr. Fart is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just some goofy, like, that is 100% goofy little boy shit that they just fucking do. Like 1000%. Like that is like that may as well be something my son did when he was that age. Like he could do this shit tomorrow if he had a doctor's kid, and I'd be like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense. Like it's totally legit. And this is when she has the big fight with him, where she's like, "Do you know that eating feces is satanic?" And that's when he's like, "Fuck!"
This is when he's like, "Why don't you make me a list of everything that's satanic so that I just know?" Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over to the grocery store with oranges one day, and they're gonna be like, "Oranges are satanic." Like he was very clearly really losing his cool in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, you sound.
And so it culminates with Angela leaves. You know, because this is also when he confronts her, like, "Hey, I looked at the tape, like when I was gone, and you were just kind of like fucking off,
hanging
like
out.
talking to the kids,
What
talking
are
to the
you-
kids
what
out
are
of
you-
character."
What are you trying to do here?
Yeah, you're
What are
just
you
having a
getting
fun
at it?
vacation.
Yeah, like, you know, they have footage of her talking to the kids like about their real lives and shit like that.
Breaking
which,
character all the time.
yeah, which
like, oh,
they're
what
not
do you
supposed to do. Like even when the teen Adam is talking to him, and he's like he has to try a few times to get him to like be like, "Oh yeah, no, my name's Josh," you know, kind of shit. So that kid knows what's up. So you know,
And he's like, you know,
seeing that later, he's like, "Oh fuck," you know, like she was doing it, but I don't think I'm supposed to do that with this guy. This is the guy running the thing. I probably shouldn't. Okay, he says it's cool, kind of shit, you know. And but then she takes the opportunity to kind of turn it around and be like, "Well, look, you made the kid 6 again. What am I supposed to do? I guess I'm gonna leave." And then she fucking bails, which is like, okay, whatever. Which then you would think, we're done now, right? Like, nah.
No, wait, no.
Nope.
So then he brings back the Jewish coach, and he's like, "Hey, she's all gone. She's all gone."
Yeah, they throw all the Christmas shit out the
He
fucking
chucks
door.
the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They throw it all out.
That's right. Yeah.
They throw it all out, and he brings the
Get some
coach
cool,
back, and he's like, "She's all gone,
Jewish
thank
lawn
goodness."
inflatables. Yeah.
Yep. And then she sits down at his table and is like, "Oh, it's always a good thing to get an anti-Semite out of your life. You don't want to be dealing with her. It's just awful. What are your thoughts on Palestine? Those
Yeah, she's
people
like,
didn't
"You
have
got
to
a
be blown up if
platform."
they just left."
You know, you have a platform, you should really use it.
Yeah.
The credits are
You gotta
playing,
support
and it's just
Israel.
going in the whole time the credits are playing. It's her going on about, you got a platform, you got to do something. What's your thoughts on Israel?
Yeah. What a good Jew would do is have a platform for Israel. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, and because normally there's music in the credits,
Yeah.
but they just let her ranting at him play over the credits. It was so good.
Yeah, she asked him, "What's your thoughts on Israel?" He's like, "Well, you know,
It's kind of a hot button issue, you know.
You know, people have, and then she interrupts and she's like, "You got a platform. You got to tell them about Israel's the light of the world and this and that." And she's going on and on.
We did not mention that when he's getting secret Jewish lessons, they're doing it in a very Anne Frank like basement.
Yeah, he takes them down to the fucking base.
Oh,
He's
that's
like,
right.
We're gonna go
Yeah.
pick the fucking vegetables now, and then they go in the basement.
Fucking ridiculous. And so that's when a sane person would end it, because the woman who wanted to have the rehearsal that's gone, but he leans real hard into it. He's gonna keep playing pretend daddy, and this is when I think the 6th episode is the realest shit I've ever seen on television.
Probably.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think Lee's gonna like the way it ends, because it's a lot. It's heavy.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a little nebulous. Like, it doesn't really have a hard ending that is satisfying.
No, it's just like, all right. So he realizes he's never had a birthday party for Adam yet. So he's going to do a birthday party for the day. 6-year-old Adam walks in the door. 9-year-old Adam comes out. So we're having a 9-year-old party for Adam, which the most hilarious part is they hire a bunch of background actors to be in the birthday party without realizing that, because of the union rules, background actors can't speak.
Or did he know that? And he
had that's one of the things that's so fucking goofy. Exactly. Yeah. That's one I'm like, okay, he had to fucking know that. He's like, yeah. So it was the quietest 9-year-old birthday ever, but we did save HBO $15,000. So yeah, a 9-year-old birthday party with no one making a sound was fucking
just moving
like
their
so
mouths.
much of the show.
Just
they show them doing
to
like
watch.
Singing happy birthday, and it's you hear Nathan, and then it's just everyone mouthing the words and having fake conversations with each other in the background.
And then he's like, you can clap. It's okay. You can clap when it's over.
Yeah. You see everyone's look on their face like, I don't think like, what does it say in the book about clapping? Yeah. Everyone's like motioning to clap, but no one making the noise until he said everyone could.
And like the other time where I feel like you could definitely see him get like visibly frustrated was also in this one too, where the party's going on. He's trying to do the party thing. And then one of the 6-year-old Adam's moms is like, hey, this kid's at home talking about a bunch of Jew shit. What's going on here?
Yeah, he had to unwork everything that he had the fake kids go do.
Yeah, he's like, hey, he's talking about Jewish and all this stuff. Like, whatever. What we can do about this? And that's when he gets down. He's like, yeah, right, cool, yeah. So all the stuff that you did, it's all nonsense. Whatever. I'm gonna burn in hell forever, but you're gonna go to heaven because you're a Christian and I'm a Jew, and I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm just gonna burn. Is that what you want me to say?
You're gonna be like me.
Yeah.
And then he looks at her with like but that's where he's playing up that whole. Exactly. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know how to talk to people. Within his head, he's throwing that back at her.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, I guess I'm all that Jewish stuff. That's all made up. Don't worry about it. You're going to heaven, not me, because I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
But don't worry about me. You don't want to be like me. Don't worry about me. I'll just go burn over here. You'll be in heaven. And he looks at the mom with like the Kanye shrug, like, yeah,
we good? We good? Is that right? And the mom's like, yeah. It's fucking wonderful. Like, like he's like, look, I'm fucking busy right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this. Like, come on.
But that wasn't the only 6-year-old Adam that had some trouble.
Sure wasn't, Kelly. What happened with our buddy Remy?
Well, it got too real for Remy, and he started to call
crashing the birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah.
He kept going back in the house when, his part was over.
Yeah. And Remy started to treat Nathan like he was his dad.
Yeah.
Because Remy did not have a dad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it came time to leave, and he's like bawling, like, I don't want to leave this house. I want to stay here.
Calling him daddy.
And he's like, no, I'm Nathan. He's like, no, I want to call you daddy. Daddy, you love me.
Because fucking this mom put this kid who had no father in a place where he was going to be living in a fake nuclear family environment.
Oh my God.
But my favorite part of this whole thing is when in this episode, at one point, Lee, you were like halfway through and you message us all and you go, man, it's really surprising that Nathan isn't putting more blame on the mom. And I go, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if anybody should dive into that.
Oh my god!
Like immediately cuts to him like, let's do a rehearsal where we blame the kid's mother for this.
Yeah,
Where I'm the mom.
Yeah,
yeah, because he has to go like he's having dinner with 9-year-old Adam later on. He's like, hey, you know I'm not your dad, right? And the kid's like, what do you mean, Daddy? He's what do you mean, Daddy? He's like, no, like for real. You know I'm not your dad.
Like I'm not talking to Adam. I'm talking to you. Like you're
the
acting
kid's like,
right. Do you understand what
like
acting is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right. It's fine.
Thank
And
God.
So and he's clearly fucking guilty about this kid, which why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
So he goes to goes to find he meets the family again, whatever. Finds goes to their house, try to talk to him about it, and this kid's just 6 and wants a dad.
Yeah, drew
so
pictures of them on the fridge.
Yeah, like he just so you have to like kind of explain to this fucking kid what acting is, as if that's not a thing he should have already been aware of going into this exercise.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck, man? Like this, and that's why I'm like, what the hell is going on with this fucking mom? And that's when Mahoney's like, give it a minute.
Yeah. Well, and before they get into the mom, he tries to reenact the scenes that he did with 6-year-old Adam.
Yeah, he's like, how could I have played? Did I do something wrong? He looks at
Oh my
himself
god.
So then he's like, all right, what if we do it with a full-grown adult?
Well, yeah,
full-grown adult 6-year-old Adam out on the front yard having a smoke.
Yeah. But like he replays some of the touching moments where he's like, "Oh, I love you, Daddy," and it's like, "Oh, I love you too." Where like he would push the kid away, and like the kid would go in for a hug, and it'd be like, "Oh, it's time to go. Oh, can you read me a bed story? Aren't you old enough to read your own book?"
Yeah. The first thing he tried to do was not be as like hands-on, like be more distant with the kid, and the kid's like, "Read me a story." He's like, "Nah."
Yeah. And then he was like,
hug,
"I think
Daddy.
I'm
How
doing
about a
more
handshake?"
damage this way. I don't know if this is the right method."
Yeah, then he gets the full-grown adult. Then he gets the doll.
Yeah, just running around the house frolicking with this fucking child-sized doll.
If it weren't for the fact that his parents actually show up in the show, I would have thought that this was all just an elaborate way to get over the fact that he had an absentee father when he was younger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who says it's still not? That's all.
I mean,
the more
maybe his dad
reason
worked
to
a
have
lot.
him on it. He was fucking with everyone on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know how much of it's real, but I know it's all genius.
Yeah, and
I
that's
know
the
that
thing
for
is,
sure.
everyone could be hired actors. Those might not even be his fucking parents.
Yeah.
Except for that kid. That kid was not acting. That kid was broken.
Yeah.
That kid was definitely broken.
Yeah.
So then they eventually go back to Remy's house, and he brings along 9-year-old Adam.
Yeah.
For
the
kind
kid
of
who
like a
was
play
like,
date.
You know I'm not your dad, right?
Yeah. And so they kind of just have a play date, and everything actually seems pretty cool. Like he's starting to call him 6-year-old Adam's starting to call him Nathan instead of Daddy. So it's like things are getting all right.
And he's
but
talking
then
to
there's
the mom, and he's like, he's gonna be okay, right? And the mom's like, yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And this is this is a really genuine like parent thing too.
Yes.
Where Nathan's like, how do you know? And like, he's clearly still shaken up about it, but the mom's like, you can just kind of tell, man. You can look at him and you can tell, like, he's gonna be all right. Like this, it's hard, but he's gonna be okay.
And
Which
she'll
really,
make sure he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, and he goes like,
Exactly.
well, but how do you know? And she's like, well, I look at him and I see myself.
Yeah, he's like, I
Which is
look
the
into
thing
his
that
eyes and I
you do.
see myself. And
Yeah.
then that's when he goes single wife female, and he's like, oh, maybe the answer's in somebody else's eyes.
Yeah, so there's the moment when he and 9-year-old Adam get back in the car, and he turns to 9-year-old Adam and goes, you get everything you need?
He was casing the kid the entire time.
Yep.
Which
So now
again
it's-
shows this fucking kid is awesome. Like this
Yeah.
kid's a great actor too.
Yeah, so now it's time to turn 9-year-old Adam into Remy. Not Adam. Remy. And
we
Nathan becomes Remy's mom, including
There it is.
in the AR mirrors to turn and look and see himself as a woman.
And he's wearing like her exact outfits that don't fit properly.
Yep.
And he
even they
reenacts,
draw on the tattoo on her hand, like
Yes.
all this crazy shit, you know.
he reenacts the Mom and Remy's experience from day one recording
The audition tape.
the audition tape.
Yes.
And replay everything. Her talking to Nathan, accepting the deal, recording the tape, sending the tape in, coming in for the like reenacting the whole first day on set where he's the mom watching the actor that plays him reenact the whole first, episode 2 through 3 in front of him.
Fucking weird.
I
Even
love
to
when
the
the
point-
assistant director or whatever is like, hey, he's pretty weird, isn't he?
Yeah, to its fucking face.
yeah, because he has everyone reenact the exact like words because he recorded everything. Everything's recorded, so you have the exact dialogue, and he just has everyone replay that fucking day, word for word.
It's a fucking trip, and like, it basically ends with pretend Liam, is that it?
Remy.
Remy. Yeah, looking at pretend
The
mom
rat.
and pretend
Remy the
pretend mom
Ratatouille.
being- yes, and then fucking fake mom being like, "Yeah, no, this was a mistake. I definitely shouldn't have had you do this."
Well, no, they're having that moment, and he's like, "I'm your daddy."
Yeah.
And then the kid like breaks character, and he's like, "You sure? You sure you didn't
you mean
you're
my mommy?"
Yeah, I thought you were my mom.
You want to take that from the top again?" And like he has like this dead look of the world makes sense, but at the same time, I got everybody? And he's like, "No, I'm your dad."
Yep.
And then like fucking hug.
Credits.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
I went
I
down.
said it
a
in
fucking-
the classic. It's a show for sick people.
I went down a hole when it was over. I'm like, is this shit like? How much of it's real? I gotta know how much of this shit's real. And how many times I've done that before in my life? 0.
Yeah. Does Angela have an IMDb, or did she have it and he had it scrubbed?
She has a lot of
I know
social media.
Angela and Core are on Cameo now.
Yeah, because you could find the guy she was trying to make the dad on TikTok.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, he's on Cameo
gonna
too. And
fucking
I did
make
read
it.
an interview with him, or an article talking about how like that guy, the fucking Mr. Numerology 100 miles an hour Scion guy, was like, I feel like they didn't really make me look very good in that episode that I was in. Like they kind of made me look like a douchebag. Like but his reason for saying that was like, what about all the things I said that weren't douchey? and it's like, well, you definitely because what they definitely don't do is that thing that you'd see in a lot of reality shows where I'm trying to think if I can even do it because it's so unnatural when they do it, but they do it all the fucking time. Where it's like
The confessionals?
That but the confessionals are cut so this like so then I had to look at them and be like, that's not how that works. They'll like splice shit together, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're definitely not doing that. You know what I mean? Like so
And they're definitely not
so-
like they didn't decide, oh, this is your character and we're going to shoot the stuff around to make you this character. They found the person who they are and then it's like, all right, let's capture this.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. That in that article, whatever, he wasn't like, "I didn't do this." He was like, "No, that's how it went down." But they cut the part where like I didn't fight my roommate. It's like, buddy, like come on. Like I just want to make sure everybody knows I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't drink anymore. Yeah, I definitely crashed that Scion going 100 miles an hour. We're like, yeah, buddy, we know. And he's like, yeah, but and then he's like, yeah, but I found out later that this is actually the second Scion that I crashed. I think it's a faulty car. I'm like, buddy, Come on.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Fucking nuts. So, I know some of them are definitely real people. Angela, I said this in our group chat, like, no one could conceive of Angela. Like, that crazy bitch is as real as you or I.
Core is absolutely real because...
Oh, yeah.
No actor or character would roll with a hairdo like that. That's a man who has been hanging on for a long time.
The lady kept saying she thinks like the whole like he was definitely into her.
Angela?
Nathan?
No. The Core.
Oh, into the friend.
Core, okay. Core,
into
for
the
sure.
friend. Like he didn't want to admit it, but like especially when they were talking to the actor, and they're like, "Well, he made a big thing about I didn't want this to look like a date," and he's like, "Well, you guys are talking, and your hands are going close to her, like you are interested."
Yeah,
Just,
no, 100%.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't." Maybe if I get a bunch of cameras, you won't fucking dump me.
But she sounds. The friend is kind of like a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. He's like, "Oh, she's gonna come in. She's not gonna be having a good day. This and that." And the actress played it.
Yeah,
and she came in and fucking
knew. He's
nailed
like,
it.
he's like, she's gonna come in and she's gonna be bitching pretty much immediately. And sure as shit, she came in and started
And
bitching
he's like, "No,
about
I got
something.
the perfect way to do it. I'll start talking about presidential twins. That'll make her day."
Yeah.
And sure as shit, she comes in pissed, and he's breaking out the presidential twin fucking routine.
Yeah, and it fucking worked. And that's the thing. Like, if the show was just that, right? Like, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
To kind of show the
because I thought
the last time
6 episodes of that is what I thought I was getting into.
Yeah. And like the last time you really see him in doing the tree and whatever and all the stuff is when they're in the chicken restaurant when homeboy who bailed. That's the last time. And after that, it's just
I think that the last time you see it is when he's like, "So you sure you want to use the Jew line?" And the best was he was like, "Well,
again.
Where do you think you'd throw it in the conversation?"
Well, you know,
And
no
he's
one
like,
has
what
ever
do you mean?
told him that you can't use the word Jew to refer to someone who is frugal with their money. No one has ever had that conversation like we had that conversation with Jose about the S word.
Which S?
So you're welcome, Jose. And that conversation went as well as it did because we rehearsed it actually 55 times.
They had Mahoney play me, and he got stuck.
Oh
in
my
the role.
god!
None of
Fucking-
the logins work.
The conversation tree for the rehearsal with Jose. Could you imagine?
It would be like 9 feet wide. You'd have to rent out a fucking theater to show the whole thing.
And at this point, he's going to complain that they're taking all these words from us.
Yeah.
And then he's going to cough into the microphone.
He'll probably be eating something.
Yeah, like if the show was just that, it would have been fine. It would have been really interesting and getting fucked up and crazy. But then it becomes this thing that's even more interesting and more fucked up and more crazy. And then it gets really sad for a second, but then it's kind of okay at the end. And it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah. Made me feel shit. And for a person, again, who, like, I don't cry unless it's shit like Yondu's funeral. I don't feel things. Like, that's the saddest shit in the world. It's fucking nuts, man. Real crazy shit.
Yeah, it's a one-of-a-kind show.
He said, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Yondu. That's all I got.
Well, also, there's the end of Toy Story 3, which makes her cry like a bitch every single time it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I expected some weird at the end for it all to tie together. Like Core shows up, the dude that wiped his grandpa's ass shows up, and like they all do like a big like musical number or some shit. I don't know. Just like some big like Avengers Assemble moment of the rehearsal, but it didn't happen.
When Core called him like Willy Wonka, and he leaned into that. And at one point, they're
Didn't
like,
Willy
he's
Wonka
doing
kill kids?
Yeah. And he's like, but isn't he the villain?
I watched a video explaining the ending. One of those explain the ending of the rehearsal, and they did a side by side. The shot of Nathan as the mother hugging the actor as Remy is the same frame and like body movements as when Charlie Bucket hugs Willy Wonka on the elevator at the end of Willy Wonka.
Fuck off.
I believe that.
I'll link you guys.
Amazing. That's amazing. Hey, of all the fuckery that they're pulling over HBO and Warner, they did renew this for season 2. So let's see what happens.
Oh, that made me so happy to see.
I think that same video that I was referencing made a comment, and it was, you give a weirdo $20 million, you're going to get something weird. And I love that. I love that. Someone give Mahoney $20 million.
Do it. I'll
Oh
fight
yeah, we forgot
so
to
many
mention
bears.
that. We forgot to
Or
mention that
one
all
bear.
the. Regardless, it's going to be some shit you're going to want to see.
You'll find at least a bear.
When
we'll
we
see
were at
about
the beach,
rest.
I said that to Katie. There was this lady. We were walking down to get into the ocean. This lady comes out to the side of us with a 4 foot by 5 foot raft, like an inflatable float. And I go, all right, hold up right here. Because either this is going to go really well for her or really bad for her. And either way, it's going to be really great to watch.
How'd it go?
It went pretty poorly. She immediately got picked up by the waves and just flung to the shore. If you try to bring an inflatable float into the ocean basically says, fuck yourself. Throws you back.
Bitch, do you think this is a pool?
Yeah.
I'm afraid
Not
it is
in-
not.
Not in me, you don't. I'm so happy that I could drag all of you along with me.
Yeah, the lady, the first episode was like, I told her we're going to watch this first episode. If you're into it, we'll watch it. If you're not, I'll watch it without you, but I'm watching it before Tuesday. So at the end of the first, she's like, it's all right. Play another one. Second one plays. She's more into it. By the fourth episode, she's on the couch, not doing the puzzle no more, just watching.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I mean, not for nothing, but it's got me wanting to go back and watch some of these Nathan For Yous. I've never seen that.
For sure.
I bet
Yeah,
it's wild shit too.
You got to see the one we talked about in the classic with the magic trick.
Yeah.
The
And then
whole
did you watch
setup.
the video that Jose linked us to the other day with him in the pre-Nathan For You days where he was on a newscast talking to the Toronto Tall People Club?
Yeah, to the point where he's like, to fully understand what it is to be tall, I had them rig this up, and it's a janky camera harness with a camera set at a 7 foot eye level, and he's having conversations with them, trying to drink, and he's looking at the monitor through a 7 foot view.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He's like, I didn't know your lives were so hard.
It's some wild shit. It's really, really interesting because I want to know, but I kind of don't want to know. Like
Yeah.
I said, I know there's enough real shit in there to let you know there's some
because
real
once
shit
you
in
know
there.
Santa's not real, there's no going back.
But again, a lot of this is quite obviously extremely real. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, this is my number one show to just try and inflict upon people.
Yeah.
You could do worse.
I mean,
I saw my brother this weekend, and I was like, "Hey, have you seen the rehearsal?" And he was like, "No," but Joa, his wife, he goes, "Joa hates Nathan Fielder," and I go, "Then you absolutely both need to watch the rehearsal."
But it's also a show with a very low buy-in because it's only 6 episodes and they're all under an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get hooked in, you could watch the whole thing in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can at least do
It took
3
me a
and
couple
3.
of days.
If
Yeah,
you
I did
watch
3
this
and
whole
3
thing in one
because-
sitting, you're gonna feel some shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of emotions to go through with no break.
Yeah, I did 2 days. I think I did over 3 days because I can only take a couple before I'm just
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
I did 3 because
So
the
exhausted.
episode with Teen Adam when he slid down that slide and it ended, and I was like, I cannot continue right now. This has to wait.
Yeah, we did 4 yesterday, and then the last 2 for dinner because we got to a good spot to where it's like, I don't want a fourth and then be stuck with one more because it's late. We're not doing two.
Yeah.
Let's just stop at 4 and bang out 2 in a row because that's a good watch.
Yeah, and 4 is a perfect stopping point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, because 4 is where he kind of like 4 is where he thoroughly fucks the premise of the show. You know what I mean? Like he torpedoes the premise of the show, starting at 5, and becomes something else completely different, and then takes another crazy fucking turn with the poor kid. You know,
was at least not the kid. You would hope that the kid was accidental and just a byproduct.
Of course, yeah.
He thought he was getting in with actors who understood the game, not, oh my God, I just fucked up a fatherless child's life. Like, he's brain fucked now.
Yeah.
But as far as like he was jumping in, that may have been planned the whole time.
Well, I mean, if Homeboy had stuck around, he probably wouldn't have needed to.
Right.
But I think that speaks, I think, a lot to the fucking Fielder method, I guess. Like, just seeing that, you know, Homeboy left, and she did say that she wanted to do it like with a partner, and him kind of being just game to play.
Yeah, yes,
so he fucking hopped in. You know?
He was a great improv partner.
Oh my God, when they fucking talk about keeping up with the holidays, and they do that drone going up and showing,
oh my God,
they're the only house with snow.
Yes.
And they were talking about, you know, they're supposed to go weeks, and, you know, they show the day before where she's planting the seeds, but the next night's supposed to be like 5 weeks later. So they show the crew coming in at midnight, undigging everything and
produce
like
in the ground.
real produce in the ground. So she has to go pick it up. And one of the episodes ended with like the produce freshly picked on the kitchen, him with a blank stare in the kitchen at the table looking, and then he notices one of the peppers has the barcode sticker still on it, and he goes and turns it as if like, nope, back to the, you know, there's reality in this weird frame. Not anymore. Now it's back to make believe.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, we wanted to spend some time on the holiday seasons, but turns out winter was very expensive to maintain. And just shows the people up there blowing snow and covering the cars and all this shit. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. They even showed them. Yeah, they showed them like in the morning blowing the car in the snow, so they had to go out there and, you know, clean the fucking windshield off.
And shit. But he talks about when she's all pissed off about the Dr. Fart thing with whatever, and again, it's one of those things where he's clearly legitimately frustrated, and he's like, do you even know how sketch comedy works? And she's like, I've seen Key and Peele. He's like, well, then you know you have to escalate the sketch. Like, you have to escalate the sketch. The kid had a perfect concept.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I got doo-doo.
Man. He's like, I bought that fucking sketch from that kid. I will rework it.
Like, this kid's a genius and you're a fucking idiot.
He's like, do you even know who I am?
Yeah, that was the same fight where he was like, that's the same fight where he was like, I'm going to go buy oranges. You're going to tell me it's satanic.
He talked to Cora and he was like, oh, so you're a television quiz, so you've seen my show. It's like, no, never heard of it. But I thought your expertise was television. Never heard of that.
Like, I'm unfamiliar with your work.
Like,
There's a lot of TV out there. There's a lot of content to be had.
Yeah. He's like, do you know Young Gravy and Addison Ray? And then Cora's like, boy, howdy do I. Let me tell you all about him. Cora loves Young Gravy. You can tell.
Imagine trying to be like a super TV trivia nerd in this day and age. Like, you would have to have 4 TVs going on at once at all times just to keep up with everything.
Yeah, you'd probably have to like watch TV in the shower.
I mean, could be worse.
I remember my last job, one of the guys I worked with, I was kind of tight with. We knew each other in high school, actually. He was telling me about some show. I'd watched something recently, maybe that movie 1908 or something with Thomas Jane, and we're just talking about how Thomas Jane's like a fucking dope ass actor, and the guy's like, "Oh, he's in this show on Sci-Fi. He tells me about the show and this and that, whatever." And he's telling me all about the show, and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds fucking great." He's like, "Oh man, you gotta check it out." And I just go, "Oh, I'm definitely not gonna." I'm like, "No, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure you're right, but there's no way in hell I can commit to something else." I'll just trust you. Oh, fuck, man. What a time. What a treat this was. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. I'm just
Wild.
so happy you guys took this ride with me.
Hey, man. You know, you talk about a lot of Japan shit on this show, but every so often you're like, dudes, this isn't just normal ass Japan shit that I talk about. It's not. This is not all the wrestling that, like, this is different. Listen to what I have to say and go. I mean, Meatball Machine. Like when you
every once in a while you get a meatball machine in.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do not disappoint, Kelly.
I do what I can.
And what you can is wonders.
God damn. All right. So we'll be back next week. God knows what we're talking about. Who the fuck even knows? But we'll figure something out.
9/11.
It'll be yes. Never forget.
We have some theories that we'd like to share with you all.
Oh, well, All Out is this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm
that's
going
right.
to that.
Oh shit, yeah, Baller Sweet Boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-oh.
Don't get COVID
He's like,
this
"Oh,
time.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I was
right.
gonna say, hopefully I don't get COVID.
I forgot. I'm the fucking man.
Yeah, I
gonna
texted
just
my good
not
buddy.
kiss everyone this time.
Where's the fun in
Texted
that?
my good buddy Goat this afternoon, and I'm like, "Hey, you busy this weekend? If not, can I invite myself over to your house to watch All Out? Because I will have been a solo dad for many, many days, and I was gonna have you over here, but I got to get the fuck out of the house." And he was like, "Come on over." It's like, all right. Oh my god! All right, this is fucking great. I'm sweating. I got all worked up talking about the rehearsal. It's just so fucking nuts.
We are all so excited
We'll
to
be
talk
back.
about it.
Oh yeah, it was all I wanted to talk about. There was no way it was going to be anything else. Yeah. So we'll be back next week at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, talking about wrestling. Mahoney's so excited, I can tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should do another
For-
round of wrestler or porn star.
Oh, that's a good
There we
idea.
go. All right.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm in. I've actually been thinking about some entries.
Addison Ray.
Yes.
Now, is that spelled differently?
I don't know how.
Because I tried looking for Addison Ray, the porn star, but no luck.
ADDISONRAY.
Okay.
RAE.
Yeah, I think it's
RAE is the
TikToker.
TikTok star.
Okay, well,
You
then
sure
they
you're not
spelled it
just
the same.
seeing people making like deep fakes of this TikTok star?
No, I knew this line. I knew that name way before I knew this name.
Yeah, but they're
No.
the same name.
No, I'm talking years ago.
When
Like
she was a child?
Oh no.
No.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
her,
no,
yeah,
that's the
but-
TikTok star. She looked like a porn star in that one.
eh.
Oh my god.
I can't find her, so I'm just going to go back to looking at Naked Miss Piggy.
I
Remember
found
that?
lots of people with like pictures of those things, but no one that's like, look at this thing I made and I'm selling, which is a damn shame because I would. I'm not even kidding. I would absolutely buy at least 3 and just give them out for all kinds of festivities.
Yeah.
Be like, it's your son's birthday. Check this out.
He's become a man.
It's fucking amazing. So for Jason Nyes, Jose Guzman, Kelly Harris, and a good buddy Mahoney, I am the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez. We'll talk to you fools next week at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at youtube.com/panelsonpages. Night. Love you. Bye-bye.
Demonetize this. Demonetize this.
You fucking Google ass bitch.
Demonetize this. Demonetize this.
Fucking Google something.
Demonetize this.
Holy shit.
Demonetize this.
You fucking Google ass bitch.
Demonetize this.
I didn't want to say it.
Demonetize this.
What are you, some kind of bitch?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Demonetize this.
You fucking
Google ass bitch. Why you keep bugging us, YouTube?
You fucking Google ass bitch.
That's it. Show's over. We're done.